Here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, the best thing about amusement parks are the rides, right? Where else can you just line up for an adrenaline rush? Take the roller coaster called Superman the Ride at Six Flags, New England. Reaches speeds of 77 miles per hour, climbs 208 feet into the air. And last week, the roller coaster got stuck mid-ride at its highest point. And every passenger, they had to climb down the edge of the tracks, which actually proved to be more terrifying than the actual ride. But as always, it could always be worse. At an amusement park in Spain, 4 people went crashing to the ground when a cable snapped midair on the slingshot-style ride. Do you know the ones? They pull you back and launch you. Yeah, the cable snapped. They're inside the capsule. Things slammed into the ground. Now, look, everyone survived, but it should also be noted they also all had to be hospitalized. Now, anyone who had a fear of these types of rides, there's always that person, they're so nervous to get on the ride. Yeah, well, now they feel very justified in having those fears. But not every fear is justifiable. For example, both of my kids, they have a healthy fear of the dentist, which I find ridiculous, but we still make them go, you see. Now, a man in England, he has a true phobia of dentists, and he actively avoided them for decades. Now he has to spend upwards of $30,000 to fix his, quote, crumbling teeth, meaning he has to go to the very dentist that he fears in the first place. Now, whether they make sense or not, phobias are real, and it's not just humans. I found out today, well, we know there's the myth that elephants are scared of mice. We'll explain why that's a myth coming up. But new research has proved that mice are scared of men. They did all these different research projects, and they realized when a guy was in the room, the mice were stressed out. When a woman was in the room, the mice were cool. But ladies, don't get cocky. Because a similar research study found out birds, they like men, but they are scared of women, which I completely understand because bitches be crazy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it turns out most birds that are in the city, they will let a man approach it much closer than they'll let a woman. Not entirely sure why. I have my reasonings for why I think that's the case. But anyway, that leads to today's question. Look, man, everybody has something that they're scared of. Sometimes you have something where you're actually phobic, and it doesn't matter, but that's what today's question is all about. So brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration, we want to know, irrational or for a good reason, what truly scares you and why?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live. Send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com, and now watch the show live on YouTube at KISW Rock.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
All the Jones, away we go. Welcome to the 21st Amendment season, episode number 4,521. What a large and charge program we have for you today.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed future repeat on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon in Seattle. Who Sucks Less is on the way at 4:30 every week. Steve, I don't know how you do it. You find people doing stupid stuff in the news. You bring us 3 stories. We pit them against each other to determine out of the 3 which one sucks the least. Is there a theme to this week's Who Sucks Less?
Yeah, there is, dead relatives. But not murder, nothing like that. It's hard to explain. Like, sometimes people have a heart of gold. They just make decisions that you might disagree with. Probably the best way to explain that, Mike. I don't know a better way.
Does it have anything to do with our guy and his sister?
No, the guy that went to get a withdrawal from the bank. This is over in India. And it was his sister's account, so the teller explained to this guy. This guy is like a villager, right? Primitive village. He's at a bank in a modern city. They explained to this guy, hey, it's your sister's account. Your sister has to be present for us to do this. Guy said, I'll be back. Came back a few hours later with his dead sister's skeleton draped over his shoulders, went right back up to the teller, said, here she is. And believe it or not, he was not arrested. They understood it's kind of a cultural breakdown. I believe he actually got the money.
Yeah.
They did not jail the guy, but they did explain, hey, next time, just let the teller know that she's dead. But he's like, he said I had to get my sister. So it's nothing like that. But
Okay.
it's weird stuff.
That's unique.
at a super unique.
I mean, he took it literally.
Well, you said heart of gold, so I was like, that guy he thought he was doing right.
He was.
Here she is.
Yeah, so it's not that, but kind of along those lines. We still got to figure out who sucks less.
Who Sucks Less is coming up at 4:30. And today our question, we're going to talk about fears. Now, there are fears that you have that are completely irrational. Then there's fears that you have based on experience or things that you know to be true. And, why that actually scares you. Mm-hmm. Now, it seems to me sometimes the irrational fears that we have are ones that truly, I don't know, affect us more than the real ones.
Anything that's irrational is going to dictate your behavior more than rational stuff.
Exactly. We talk about it all the time in here. Look, I love peanut butter. I will not buy peanut butter because I'm afraid I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and I'm going to choke on it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have anything to drink and I'm going to die alone with a spoon in my mouth and I'm going to go out like Elvis or something like that.
Which is absolutely ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Yes.
It's the stupidest, most irrational thing ever. I have a fear of falling or slipping in a bathtub, to the point where I went and put a shower into one of my bathrooms so I wouldn't have to step into a bathtub. For some reason, I have a fear that I'm going to fall and crack my head open. I don't know why.
I don't either.
I've never slipped in the bathtub. I've never fell.
This won't help, but this is the only time in my life I've had this experience. When we first moved to Baltimore, we had not bought a house yet. My uncle owned a place there, and it was a new construction. Maybe things have changed, but I had never been in a bathtub that was brand new. I did not realize how slippery these things are. Okay, so I think I was 14 at the time.
You kind of get a film on them,
They got to get some. I mean, I stepped in that thing.
Got to get them seasoned.
I don't know. It was like being on ice skates, but you've never ice skated, right? And we were all aware of this, and it was very troubling getting in and out of the shower. But there was a morning, my father, he ended up eating it. The bathroom wall bordered my bedroom, and you hear the slip of the feet. Right. And again, we all knew that bathtub was super, super slippery. But we hear the slip of the feet. I hear it crash on the ground. Basically, he had to go to the hospital. But essentially, he slipped, grabbed the shower curtain, ripped the rod off the wall, hit the floor naked and wet, slid across the tile, and came to a stop when his head slammed into the door.
Wow.
Yeah, like he threw on his back.
So it can't
not to justify your fear, but I'm just saying,
right.
I've never stepped in a bathtub.
Dude, I will say this. Only in the last year have I started buying the mats for the shower. And now I'm with you.
You mean interior?
Yeah. I don't know that I could go back.
Because you have the fear of falling as well.
Yeah.
See,
where does this fear come from?
Look. But this
washing your feet.
Okay. But in my mind,
it's a very delicate time when you're washing one foot, one foot's up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
For me, that is for good reason. Okay, that's a fear you have for good reason. It's a realistic thing that can happen.
The older we get, the much more realistic it gets.
I will also say
sure.
the proliferation of liquid soap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my kids, man, they it's like, guys, some of this has to actually be used on your body. Are you just squirting it directly onto the shower? Now, that said, my wife in our old bathroom, it's a little bit dated, and it's just a single stall shower, not the full bath. We've been discussing this for 3 years because you got to come up with the cash to do it. But the one thing we did agree on, because we are getting older, when we replace the shower, make sure we don't have to step over anything to get into it.
Someone who's commenting on YouTube at KISW Rock. Miles, it's probably from your mushroom experience when you passed out and cracked your head open. I was on the toilet. If anything, I should have a rational fear of mushrooms.
Yes.
That should be my fear, but it's not.
Not magic mushrooms.
I eat them all the time.
Sure.
But the ones that really freak you out are the ones that make no sense. You have an incredible fear of clowns. It's not like you're going to hang out with clowns. It's not like you're going to be around them.
I would put snakes higher on the list.
But you're not around. You don't live in a place that has snakes.
But I had to deal with clowns for so long.
When?
Working on the show?
Yeah. When I used to go out and open up those extra mile stores.
Oh, that's right.
There was always a clown that showed up too. Right?
Like, was you and a clown?
If you ever hear,
what was the clown's name?
I love sausage, the Johnsonville Brats.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but one time I didn't have a speaker or anything, and I had to play nice with the clown, and he was a nice dude.
Sure.
Right. And then I kind of hung out with the clown enough where now I'm like, they're not my favorite, but it's not like if Reptile Guy came into the studio right now, I probably would be like, hey, Mike, you gotta pipe me in from a different studio.
Okay. So you couldn't handle that.
That'd be tough.
I've seen you do it once. To your credit, we're in Baltimore, and a guy brought in some big-ass albino python or something like that. And this was a large snake. Now, We knew Ted was scared of snakes. Ted did not get near, but this was a tiny-ass studio, and he's
you guys
completely
also,
pressed
and
in the
your
corner.
defense, I was the intern at the time.
Yeah.
But you guys were like, you got to go get him from the kitchen.
Yeah,
And I remember I like peeked around the corner and was like, hey, man. And he's like, afraid of snakes? And I was like, yeah, we're ready for it.
We were on a show called, we were guests on a show in D.C. Called Ron and Fez. Mm-hmm. They invited us down to the studio to go on air with them. And they knew that, I don't know who tipped them off, probably our producer, Eric. Tipped them off that
I think it was,
Ted had a
clowns
fear.
and snakes.
Yeah. And so we walk in there, man. And this guy he comes in the studio after we're already on the air.
Yeah.
He's dressed as a scary clown. And I mean, Ted just absolutely lost it in that moment.
Ted, you were 300 pounds at the time, and I swear to God,
You
this
jumped,
thing hurdled our laps and was behind us
in
when
the
this
corner.
dude walked in.
It was amazing. But okay, more dumb stuff. You won't watch a scary movie.
Correct.
Now, they're not real.
I know.
You know this going in. I mean,
Correct.
they said based on a
Based
true
on a
story,
real story.
even if it was
Sure.
like somewhat close to The Exorcist, I get that. With snakes, though, you had a snake following you out of a tree, right?
Yeah, in front of me when I was
Okay,
a kid.
to me, that's a fear for good reason.
You go, okay, this is the moment.
This is why you have this fear. Like, for example, when I used to run all the time, I broken or sprained my ankles 3 times on one side, 4 times on my right.
Damn.
All right? So, and at that point in time, I was riding the bus to work. And my biggest fear was, and I've snapped my ankle off in a pothole or off a curb before.
Sure.
Twice. That's how I broke them. And so I would always run looking down.
Very smart.
I never saw any of the beauty around. You know, if I ran around South Lake Union or whatever,
Yeah.
I didn't even look up at a butt or you know what I mean, like a hot chick running by or anything, because I was terrified that if I broke my ankle again, how was I going to get to work? Because I was either biking into work then or taking the bus in.
Yeah.
It just would have been a total pain in the ass.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've been through that before. So and I know the pain involved in that. And I know how long the recovery time is and all that. So that was my biggest fear when I was doing that, especially like trail running. I ran a half marathon on a mountain with castle, and man, there were rocks everywhere. And I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
I almost pooped myself, and I didn't care. As long as I did not break or twist my ankle, I was fine. But to me, that is a rational fear. I have a fear of heights. What I don't do is put myself in a situation where I am in a high place that will freak me out.
Unless family comes to town and they want to go to the Space Needle.
Yes.
As everybody does
Well, the Space
every
Needle
time they visit.
does not freak me out.
When you walk outside.
Okay, but here's the problem. All right. So the biggest problem I have with the Space Needle is my sister, for whatever reason, has an irrational fear of riding in an elevator. Now, it goes to 100 when it's a glass elevator.
Yeah.
And you can see what's going on around you. So when she came into town, you know, that was not something that was discussed. I don't really, like, she will get a hotel room on the first or second floor when she travels.
But she won't take an elevator.
She'll take the steps. She does not want to take an elevator.
Is she claustrophobic or is it elevator specific?
She's afraid the elevator is going to break down and she's going to get stuck inside. This has never happened to her. Happened to us a couple weeks ago. Granted, we were only in there for 5 minutes.
But you don't panic. Like, I'm not going to die. It's stuck.
That's what I mean.
Right?
It's, to me, that's an irrational fear for her.
Sure.
Now, we had a guy in the last building. He got stuck in an elevator for like 3 or 4 hours on the weekend.
Yeah.
No one was there. Now, if that guy said, man, I get kind of wigged out when I get on an elevator, I'd be like, I get it.
Yeah. I think he was more irritated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my sister, when she came into town, this is years ago, basically closed her eyes and put her hands over her eyes, like as if just closing them weren't enough.
Yeah.
You know, then she doubles up and puts her hands over her eyes and kind of just scrunches up to me. And I'm like, you going to be all right? And fortunately, that elevator is pretty quick.
Well, sure,
Bless you.
look, there's nothing you can scrunch up to me. I can't help you. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I've been on a flight where a woman who I did not know she was scared of flying until we start taking off, right? So you start going down the runway. We had not spoken a word to each other. She's just sitting next to me. Her hand is now on top of mine, and she's gripping it like she is my child, and her eyes are squeezed shut. So I looked at her like, are you all right? She's like, I really hate flying. I said, okay, well, I said, we're going to be fine. I said, look, here's the thing. She was probably late 30s, early 40s.
I wonder if she had a bad turbulence experience. It makes sense that you had a kid.
Maybe.
You had a kid do it, right? To you? Didn't you have to calm a kid down a little bit? On a
Oh,
flight?
yeah.
So that makes sense because it's a kid.
It's a child,
Yeah.
sure.
But
I also had an older lady do it to me when I was flying into Missoula. Like that was just the scariest landing.
Were you the one freaking out?
Were you the one freaking out, or was she the one?
Yeah, because we almost landed, then we pulled back out, and then I swear to God, it seemed like the lightning bolt hit the wing. And I don't know what, I didn't say a word. And finally, she just put her hand on my forearm and went, "It's okay. We're in a giant valley. It happens okay. It happens a lot."
But I mean, look, if you're in a situation where the plane dropped suddenly in bad turbulence and somebody slams up against the ceiling or whatever the deal is, and you got to fly through that crap, I can see where, like, look, flying is not my favorite thing to do.
Sure.
And I get wigged out every time I do it. To me, that makes sense.
I've been through some bad turbulence. I don't enjoy it, but I still have no fear of flying. I don't. I hate when they announce there's going to be turbulence. Because here's my thought. When you're flying and the captain doesn't say anything and you hit turbulence, you go, man, turbulence. When they tell you to expect turbulence, I just assume they're telling us because it's going to be 150 times worse.
Yeah.
And typically, the worst turbulence I've had is the shortest flight I've ever been on in my life, which was from Spokane to Seattle last year. Me and my son, there for volleyball, whatever, man. We get on, it's like a 35-minute flight. I swear to God, 33 minutes of that. It's like, I don't know, you're inside of a snow globe, and someone's shaking this thing, and even my kid's like, is this normal? I said, look, bro, I don't know this flight route. So maybe it is, maybe it's not. But if you're uncomfortable, that makes sense because I am too.
Look, all right, a lightning storm will come in. If I'm ever in that situation, one of those places, I have been hit by lightning.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, me and two other buddies, we were standing under a tree, and we were standing on top of the root system of the tree. We did not take a direct shot from the bolt. The bolt hit the tree.
Yeah.
But it knocked us all out. All right? So to me, that was no different than getting a colonoscopy. At the end of it, I woke up, and they're like, it's over. It's done.
Yeah.
And so I'm not afraid of a colonoscopy. I'm also not afraid of getting hit by lightning.
Well, you shouldn't be.
Well,
generally speaking.
Well, it seems to me that most people who do occasionally are re-offenders, so to speak.
Yeah, they
get hit more than once for whatever reason. But that's a rational fear that I should have. Thunder shower rolls up
77 times.
Yeah, I don't even think twice about it. You know, look up and go, God, we got a big one coming in, and I bet, but I should, realistically say, okay, well, this is a serious scenario, or could be. But I don't have that fear for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of other dumb stuff that I know is probably never going to happen.
I'm only really afraid of lightning depending on where you are.
Well, yeah.
Right? So, like, just thinking back being like 12, 13 at like a baseball field with a giant metal backdrop and everything, or backstop, like, let's go. You know what I mean? Or like that game in Tennessee, sitting on aluminum benches. I was like, let's get out of this bowl.
Right.
For sure.
In the shower. I'll get out of the shower. On the East Coast, if a thunder shower comes, I don't know why. I doubt. I've never read a story. A guy gets fried in the shower.
Because they always told you to.
I know, but I get out of the shower.
Yeah,
it's not. It hasn't really even happened, I don't believe. But I'm still like, all right, time to get out of here. Irrational or for good reason, what truly scares you and why. 206-803.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This is a real review from an airport or shuttle passenger.
Airporter provides dependable and comfortable transportation to SeaTac. There are numerous departures throughout the day, which makes it super convenient. The staff is always friendly, and the ride is smooth in their comfortable buses.
See for yourself why our passengers love Bel Air Airport or Shuttle. Visit airporter.com to book your trip today.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this. Christian Healthcare Ministries is a health insurance alternative at half the cost. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/solution. That's chministries.org/solution.
Hey there, I'm Kendra Adachi, and my show, The Lazy Genius Podcast, helps you be a genius about the things that matter and lazy about the things that don't, and you get to decide what matters. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to give you a new way to see. Episodes of the Lazy Genius Podcast are full of compassionate time management tips and permission slips to do what makes sense for you. New episodes drop every Monday. Follow and listen to the Lazy Genius Podcast on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Right.
All is live on the free Odyssey app. From the Pinky's Plumbing Studio, you're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
I love roller coasters, but this would freak me the hell out. Yes, it's Six Flags New England. In for an unplanned throw last week when the roller coaster got stuck mid-ride at the highest point of the roller coaster, forcing them to climb along the side of the tracks in an evacuation. The footage, captured by numerous people on TikTok, shows the aftermath of the towering Superman the Ride roller coaster, seemingly malfunctioning at the Massachusetts park on Friday, April the 24th.
Seemingly, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
the coaster got stuck just as the car filled with riders approached the highest point, forcing them to then get out of their seats and climb down the edge of the tracks of the towering structure. The person who filmed the moment said passengers were left stranded in the air after the coaster stalled. As the camera zooms in on the coaster, individuals in orange vests who appear to be staff members can be seen leading a line of riders down a very steep staircase after they exited the car. According to the park's website, the ride reaches a speed of 77 miles an hour over a length of 5,400 feet. Where they were evacuated, it was 208 feet. According to the park, the coaster is for the ultimate thrill seeker, who should expect to be made
they're not wrong.
into jelly, quote, after riding. Our question, irrational or for good reason, what truly scares you and why? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Carly. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi there.
Hola.
Hola. So I do have quite, I feel like, an irrational fear.
Okay.
I am terrified of paranormal things.
Like what, like ghosts, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster?
Mostly ghosts, demonic things. It's gotten to the point where my husband, who is a huge horror movie film
Great.
Lover, he will put them on and we will watch them together. And he'll start making comments about it's going to come for you or it's going to get you or that's going to be at the end of the bed in the middle of the night. And I will just absolutely shut down. I will get so upset with him. I'm like, stop talking about it. It's going to happen. Like, I start freaking out.
Now, why do you watch the horror movies, right? I mean, if that kind of thing, because they make 1 million of them a year, right? And some are scary, some are stupid, but whatever. Why would you volunteer to sit down and watch this knowing it's going to freak you out even more?
It's the little things, the compromises that you make in marriage, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but look, I don't like spiders, but if my wife said, I'm going to get a pet tarantula, that is a hard no. Like, no, we're not going to do that.
Because what if it gets out?
Yeah.
What
What's the scariest movie? What's the scariest movie you've seen, or what, of all the horror movies you've seen, which one would you think is most likely going to happen to you?
Oh, my gosh. Any of the demonic possession ones really freak me out.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Have you seen The Exorcist?
I can't wait what many that I've seen that they all freak me out. And creepy crawly people on the ceilings type things, like I just have a fear. Like every time I'm in there, I'm just like something's going to get me.
Look, man, I got a buddy I used to work with, and he is the most rational man in the world. And he came back from a weekend where he went with his fiancée to her parents' house in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
They stayed in the basement of this home. It was a home from like the 1800s, old farmhouse, one of those things. He said, first of all, farmhouse steps are very, very narrow.
Yeah.
And they're very, very steep. So he's like, I made it a point to walk around barefoot because they wanted you to take off your shoes at the home.
Sure.
He didn't want to fall down those steps. The basement steps had the same type of steps going down. And he stayed in the basement with his fiance. And he goes, man, I don't want you to think I'm crazy. You know I'm not crazy, right? I'm like, Johnny, of course not. You're the most normal person I know. He's like, I swear to God, the house is haunted. There are ghosts in that house. I am never staying there ever again. I don't know how to tell my fiance this, but I'm never, ever stepping foot in their home. And when he mentioned it to his fiance, she's like, yeah, there's ghosts in the house. So what? I grew up with them. And Johnny's like, so you're seeing the same things I am. He's like, I saw this glow. He said, man, and just fast movement and all these different things and sounds and just, the hair was standing up on my arms. This cold chill just kind of overcame me. And I'm like, man, I believe you. He's like, I know you don't believe me. And I'm like, I believe you, Johnny. Why would you lie about this?
Sure.
Like, no one wants anyone to believe that they're nuts. So unless you've really had an experience where it freaked you out, whatever it was freaked you out, you would never publicly admit it to somebody who doesn't have the same beliefs that you do.
Yeah, my wife, she swears she saw a ghost. She was at, and again, this is rural Pennsylvania, go figure, but she was at a friend's house, like a sleepover when they're younger, and I guess her friend's grandfather had passed, all right? But I think she said, like, they're in her bedroom talking, just, as girls are going to do on a sleepover, but she saw the ghost of this girl's grandfather. And I'm like, come on. And she goes, no, listen. The girl saw it too. So both of them saw this thing and it freaked her out. And to this day, if you put on, I don't know, whatever the cable channel is, that's always paranormal something.
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch it. I don't mind. It's interesting to me. Whatever, man. Typically she'll be asleep. She wakes up and I have it on. She's like, you've got to turn the channel. She absolutely, positive. She didn't even like to talk about it because it just freaks her out that bad. And I'm like, it's like 40 years ago. She's like, look, man, you weren't there. I'm telling you, you see this dude clear. And he didn't do anything. I think he was like sitting at the edge of the bed or something. But she's like, we both saw it. So even her friend kind of shut down. And she's like, I never spent the night over there again.
And in your buddy's defense, I mean, I don't know if people on the West Coast know this, but Gettysburg is well-renowned. It's like one of the most haunted places on earth in the country.
Well, he even told me. She told him before they left.
I mean, they run ghost tours.
No, she said, she told Johnny. She said, hey, just so you know, there's spirits in the house. It's not a big deal. There's never been anything bad happen.
Sure.
We just had a few broken things and things like that, but there's never been a bad thing that's gone down. She's like, they're just there. And Johnny's like, I'm marrying this woman, and she's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love her, but obviously there's a screw loose here or there. And then he went there, and he came back, man. He's like, you're not going to believe this. You are not going to believe this. Irrational or for good reason, what truly scares you and why? 206-803-ROCK.
Oh, unfortunately, a lot of people in Gettysburg were not planning to die there.
That is very, very correct. I would surmise that none of them did. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. And then just being a history nerd and have been there a bunch of times, like about Pickett's charge and this and that. But the first couple days, some of that fighting is brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, like just dudes hand to hand, just awful.
Antietam kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's specifically one area called Devil's Den that was full of generally was full of rattlesnakes, right?
Yeah.
But these guys got caught in there, and you're talking like, because you're loading muskets, and it gets to a point where they're just hand fighting this and that, or shooting that close to each other that, like, supposedly almost every night you could still hear weird sounds and screams. It was just that bad.
And that's why they want you to visit Gettysburg.
I highly recommend you go.
Come for the good time.
Obviously you do.
Look, I would stay at a hotel in there, but it is a spooky town.
It is.
Irrational or for good reason, what truly scares you and why? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, DK. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So this is kind of a childish thing. It's spiders. And I know it's super duper common for a lot of people, but this started, and I kid you not, when I was a baby. Now, this is probably the earliest memory that I could possibly have, and I know it sounds strange. Who as a baby remembers anything? But I remember being in a crib, laying there on my back, helpless as hell, and this spider coming down, and it's one of those household cellar spiders, with the long, spindly legs.
Yeah, man.
And this thing is hanging over my face. And I'm a baby or a toddler at least, and to this day, now I'm scared of all spiders, mind you, but that one particular type, I cannot be around them. I start sweating. I get the chills. I just cannot be around them. It has messed me up. And I'm almost 50 years old.
Like when I grew up, Spider-Man was a character on the Electric Company.
Sure.
And to me, Spider-Man was cool. And
he was cool. He still is.
And that made spiders cool. So I never really had...
I did not bridge that gap.
And, not knowing... I know black widows are in West Virginia, but I never saw any growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You'd see some big-ass wolf spiders, stuff that would take a chunk out of you.
Right.
But for me, I have a worse fear of walking through a spider web while walking the dog.
Oh, for sure.
And not knowing what that spider is.
Especially
actually
in the fall,
seeing
you get the orb weavers.
Yeah. Than seeing the spider on the web. I just don't. When I walk through, I'm like, God!
I would, because you
It's an
don't
element of
see
surprise, I think, for most people.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
There, you're okay.
How miserable are you in the fall? Because, look, I don't like spider. I don't think my phobia is quite as deep as yours, but I just know for a fact, basically, when football season starts, I'm not watching it alone. There are now a ton and okay, what if you see one outside? Like, so for me, if I see a spider outside, I don't care one way or another. I mean, even if it's right next to me, I can't explain. If I'm outdoors, it can be on my shoulder, I would just brush it off. If I am inside and it's within 20 feet, I'm like, that mofo needs to die, and it needs to die now.
I had to do it yesterday morning. Had a stowaway in the shower.
I could see it out on the web. Like, if I know it's there, I can deal with that. If it surprises me, it's a whole different ballgame. I'm with Miles. If I'm like going down a trail, and I ride mountain bikes or dirt bikes, hiking, all that, and if I go through a web, game over.
What if you're in your bedroom, all right, and a spider has made a web in the corner of your wall? It's not above your bed. It's even the opposite corner. Are you okay to go to sleep? I actually am. As long as he's not directly over me, I'm okay with that.
I got to deal with it. But then here's the other funny thing. So the ones that you're going to see in the house, right, are usually those cellar spiders, the one with the long legs. They're really the only ones. Rare occasion I'll see one of those huntsmans or whatever the heck they are, dart across the floor. They come inside. But those are like really beneficial. You're right. They kill the bugs and this and that.
I don't care.
For the most part, I think they're tolerable. But these other ones, if I see them in the room, they're goners. But here's the crazy thing. If I kill them, I feel like they send out a signal to the rest of them, and they're all going to come and get me.
I just had
ridiculous or what?
I just had a spider give birth to a bunch of babies in my bathroom. So whenever I go in there and use the bathroom, it's the one I take a dump in. I'm looking all over the floor. I'm like, they're everywhere. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to kill this guy's babies. So I will. I don't. I just leave them alone. And
you just can't be in my home.
But there's 10 of them. Like, there's a lot of these little spiders, and they're fast.
Spiders are amazingly fast. The biggest spider I've ever personally dealt with, right? It's not the size of a tarantula. It was just, I found it shockingly big and thick. And this was my old dog. And at this point, we've redone the house since, but we used to have just tan carpeting everywhere. Mm-hmm. And everyone else is in bed. I am watching TV. And the cabinet that the TV sits on, I see this big-ass spider and kind of darts across the floor. And I'm like, oh, man. Then he kind of hides under the shadow of the cabinet. And I'm like, I'm getting his ass. But I had to walk to the front door to grab a shoe. When I came back, the spider is nowhere to be found. Right? I mean, it is absolutely nowhere. And I'm not comfortable with this. I couldn't even finish watching TV. So I'm like, F it. I'm explaining to my wife the next morning. I'm like, look, man, because she knows how I am with spiders. I said, no, this is the biggest goddamn spider I personally had to interact with. And I'm like, it disappeared into the carpet somewhere because it was almost the same color. I'm like, I grabbed the shoe. When I came back, it was gone, right? And she's like, come on, man. The next night, I'm watching TV. It's about the same time, about 12:30 at night. It's behind me, but I catch this thing, and I'm like, there it is, and I'm hoping it's the same one. Because I'm like, tell me when I have two of these big-ass sons of bitches in the house. But I see them, so I'm trying to get my dog. Dog looks at it, goes back to sleep. Like, don't care. Found a shoe, ended up waking up my wife. Keep in mind, this is carpet. I'm smashing this thing so hard, and she's like, it's dead. I probably hit this thing like 36 times. There's legs stuck to my shoe.
Would you be willing to watch a video, a life reel, of all the things that have crawled on your body when you were asleep?
I would, only because, and this got me over my, not that I was ever scared of ants. It's not that. But when we lived in upstate New York, we had a completely wooden house, and we had carpenter ants. And they're much bigger than like your sugar ants and all that. And their bodies are hard as F, right? But there was nothing we could do. My father tried all the different... God forbid he ever got an exterminator. Like, that's the last thing my father's going to do. He could always do it himself. So we had ants constantly, and they're eating away the house. When we poured cereal, because carpenter ants are now still attracted to sugar, and I remember pouring a bowl of Frosted Flakes and like 8 ants. But at that time, as a little black kid, I had a little afro. And I remember getting up for school, and I take a shower and combing my hair, and there's 3 dead ants in my hair. Ugh. And all that could tell me is they're literally climbing over you when you're asleep. And instead of taking the path of least resistance, which is skin, they went to the jungle of afro. They were fine to die.
My apartment in Baltimore, it's very hot and very humid. You get a lot of bigger bugs. And it was on a ground level. I had a ground level unit. And there's these things called silverfish. So for me, as far as bugs go, silverfish, centipedes, and millipedes are the ones that freak me out because they're everywhere there, and they get in your house very easily.
I don't know how they get it.
And the ones that I saw in Africa were like 2 feet, 3 feet long. They looked like snakes. They had
with legs,
and they move fast. Like they're not. They've got a million legs on them.
Yeah.
Those are the things where I'm just like, Jesus, man. For whatever reason, that is the insect that really freaks me out.
Silverfish freak out most people. I've told you, my buddy Tony, when we got our first place, it was back in Baltimore, you get all the hand-me-down furniture, and we had basically a love seat, or like a lazy boy chair. And the cushion had worn down, so there's a spring that sometimes poked out of the cushion, sometimes didn't. Everyone was aware it was there, but that's the situation you're in.
Got to run the risk and then kind of forget.
You do, right? Because once you sit down, if it's not poking you, you forget it's there. He saw this big, we all saw the silverfish, but he saw it first, and Tony was scared of everything. He stood up, as we all did, kind of, you jump up, but the spring had hooked into his satchel.
Oh, boy.
So when he
oh, God.
But it was weird to look at, because everybody jumped up, right? This thing just shows up. And he kind of jumped up and immediately sits back down. We're like, what are you doing? Then he screams. Then he kind of untucks himself. He was bleeding. He threatened to sue us. He was so mad. He's like, I'm going to sue you guys. He didn't. He got over it in like 2 minutes. But I mean, he just had the whole thing. And it's because of the silverfish. So basically, he wrecked his testicles to escape this thing.
Irrational or for good reason, what truly scares you and why? 206-803-ROCK.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this. Christian Healthcare Ministries is a health insurance alternative at half the cost. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/solution. That's chministries.org/solution.
This is the Chase Sapphire Lounge at Boston Logan. You got clam chowder. In New York, Dirty Martini. Over 1,300 airport lounges and one card that gets you in. Chase Sapphire Reserve, now even more rewarding.
Learn more at chase.com/Sapphire Reserve. Cards issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval.
Still figuring out Mother's Day? We can arrange that. With Edible, it's easy to send a gift Mom will love without the last-minute stress. Order online for delivery or easy in-store pickup and make Mother's Day feel thoughtful, simple, and handled.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this. Christian Healthcare Ministries is a health insurance alternative at half the cost. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/solution. That's chministries.org/solution.
Spend day on the links there with us. Monday, June 8th at Redmond Ridge Golf Club for the KISW Miles Montgomery Golf Classic presented by Pinky's Plumbing. We'll start the day off with some good food, eat some breakfast, get out on the golf course. There is a sample available for you on almost every single hole out there.
Well, now.
We'll throw in some drink tickets and a big old goodie bag full of some good swag. Not only that, we'll have the longest drive contest, hole of one contest, longest putt contest as well. Your chance to win tickets to Guns N' Roses Black Crowes up in Vancouver, BC. On August 29th, that includes your Amtrak tickets to Vancouver and your hotel accommodations for the night for the winning foursome.
And a chance to be shot in the face with Nerf bullets.
That's right. Maybe we'll have another hole-in-one off the toilet this year. Last year was a blast. We'll finish it off with lunch and an awards ceremony. Keep in mind, man, I played Redmond Ridge probably a dozen or more times. I've eaten there every single time I go because the food is that good.
Okay.
The breakfast is going to be awesome. Lunch is going to be awesome. It's going to be a great excuse to take the Monday off and join us on the golf course.
Oh, damn. Do we have to take Monday off?
I believe we do. I heard Castle say earlier on his show that we have one or two foursomes left.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So head to KISW.com and reserve what is left, and hopefully you can join us for a beautiful Bluebird sunny day on the links like we had last year, man. It was a hell of a lot of fun. On our question, irrational or for good reason, what truly scares you and why? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Rob. Welcome to the men's room.
Afternoon, guys.
Hola.
There's a place in Des Moines called the Landmark on the Sound. It used to be a old, I think it was an old rest home. But every time I drive by that place, it creeps me out. Back in the day, they opened up as a wedding venue.
All right.
And my wife and I, we looked at the place to get married. And I walked around the place, and I've never been so freaked out in my life. I looked at my wife and I'm like, we can't get married here. And she's like, why? She says, our guests are going to start disappearing on us.
What is it about this place that freak? Is it a sense, or is it something that you've basically just created in your own head and can't get out of it?
It's all the above. It's kind of like a rose red type of thing. If you ever look at Google it and look at the images, and you will know exactly what I'm looking at.
What's it called?
Landmark on the Sound in Des Moines.
Landmark on the Sound in Des Moines. And you said you drive by this every day, and it just freaks you out looking at it.
Yeah, when I'm at work and I'm in Des Moines, I drive by this and I'm like, there are people looking at me right now.
I mean, it looks like a building you put in a horror movie.
Well, no, it looks like the Biltmore in Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, that kind of looks like the Shining place to me.
I'll tell you what,
it looks like something that's going to just eat people.
Now, are you comfortable watching horror movies?
Yes, and I'm comfortable with a lot of creepy places. I used to live down near Western State, and so that was fine. But this place just has an aura of it that I just cannot get over.
So it's legitimately just this way. That's it. I figured for sure you wouldn't like horror movies, but you're cool with those. So it's just this place.
It's got like a lodge from The Shining vibe.
Yeah.
It was a retirement place for the Freemasons.
It's an old retirement home or a Masonic lodge.
It was
a Masonic
both.
lodge, but it's a retirement.
Okay. Right, it was a retirement home for the Freemasons.
So a lot of people probably did pass on in the building.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
The scariest building I've ever seen in my life is that mental institution that was in Baltimore for a while. I think it has since been torn down.
Where was it, roughly?
I cannot remember. It just looked like this old Dracula castle.
You talking about the one
jail?
up...
Because the jail has that kind of right near downtown. The Baltimore City Jail. I think they've actually emptied this place out in the last couple of years.
The one on North Ave?
Not that one. There was one at the end of 83, like at 83 at Lombard or Fayette or something. And it's just this giant gray building. It is windowless. And inside are prisoners. But I mean, literally, it's in the middle of the city. There are no windows. It was just a creepy looking building. Like, even the prisoners didn't want to go there, not because they're in jail, but because they're like, hey, man, you can put me in jail. Don't put me in that one.
Right, because the one on North Ave that I went to kind of looked like a castle.
Yeah.
But, Miles, I think the place you're talking about was up closer almost to Towson.
It's the Baltimore State Hospital for the Criminally Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look, man, once you put criminally insane on any building, nobody wants to go there. Once it's abandoned, it officially becomes creepy.
Yeah.
Would you spend the night there?
No.
Would you spend the night outside of there?
Yes. I would spend the night outside in the middle of downtown Baltimore before I'd walk into that building.
There was another one in Maryland, in Bowie, like not that far from where, like, I don't know, Bernie and I used to drive over there at night. But that one was legit spooky.
Yeah.
But so many, like, teenagers and stuff would go in there that eventually they had to set up, like, a little park police substation.
So people would stop going in?
Right. And then, like, you'd swear, I went in there once, and we were like, we saw lights, and then, you know, like, something's in there. And then somebody else was like, those cops roam that building at night now because they know all you idiots are going in there.
Do you think the cops don't want that gig? Right? Like, hey, all the teenagers keep going to the creepiest freaking building in town. So, Officer Smith, we're going to need you to patrol inside of that building.
I can't imagine it's one you super want.
No, I mean, would you just straight up say no? Because seriously, that building is that creepy. Like, wait, you're telling me I'm working overnight, solo, with a flashlight in that building? Like, look, man, you can fire me. You got to reassign me. There's no chance.
Irrational or for good reason, what truly scares you and why? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Adam. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
All right, make sure you let me finish my story before you hang up on me.
All right.
Steve.
We'll really try.
All right. So I have
tempted to hang up.
I have what's known as high places phenomenon. So I'm technically not scared of heights, but when I get into high places, I have an involuntary thought in my head to jump off.
Okay, that is not a great thought to have. And so you're not scared of heights, but I don't know. We go up to the Needle. You got no problem standing out there looking over the railing. But in your head, something's telling you, climb over the railing and jump.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And I don't want to die. It's just a thought that goes through my head is, what if I jump off of here?
You know the answer to that, though.
Yes, I do. And it's a legitimate thing. You can look it up.
So was it diagnosed? Or, I mean, like, did you?
No. I just looked it up because I thought it was weird. My dad has the same fear. And to top it off, I work at a large airplane manufacturer, and I work in a 4-story jig that has a 3-foot railing around each level.
So does that thought constantly go through your head, or does work distract you enough that it's not the case?
Nah, every time, if I'm not at the edge of the rail, it doesn't bother me. But when I get to the edge of the rail, that's when I start looking over the edge, and I get that thought.
Have you ever attempted to jump off anything high?
I used to cliff dive. I used to jump off a 50-foot cliffs.
Okay, so
all right.
So you're doing it for the thrill. Here's one that freaks me out. When my daughter was going to San Diego State, there is a Marriott on the harbor, and it's probably, 35 floors, somewhere like that. But I think I was on like the 25th floor the time I stayed there. So the kid comes over because we're going to go downtown and screw around. She comes up into the room. She goes out on the balcony, and she's like leaning on the rail, looking down.
Yeah,
over down into the pool and everything. And I, for whatever reason, back to the panel falling out on that window and that guy falling 25. I am freaked out. Look, it's man-made. It's a patio. It's a railing.
Yeah,
it gets weathered. All these things. You're putting all of your weight on this railing, and I mean, my heart is just big, just going 1,000 miles an hour. Like, please, baby, and she's doing it to freak me out. I'm like, you don't understand.
Oh, she does.
How bad this is. How just
right.
Like I just want to scream. Like, please do not do that.
Oh, Adam, let me ask you this: has this always been the case, or is this something that happened later in life?
It happened later in life, and the weird thing is working on, jumbo jets and stuff. I can work on the wings. I can work on the vertical tail. I get into a full harness, and I freak out the whole time. I'm on a lift and everything, but once I get onto a flat surface, I'm okay.
Okay. Do you think you could be like a window washer? Right. So we drop your ass over the edge, and you're harnessed in, and you're doing windows.
There's no job that I would hate more than that.
I spent a couple years installing windows on skyscrapers.
So you really don't have a fear of heights at all?
No, but that was when I was younger. Now I'm 54, and it just something that kind of creeped in as I got older, I guess.
I feel like somehow, oddly enough, it coincides where you're old enough to have your own insurance, right? Because I would go to amusement parks, and there was no ride I would not get on. It didn't matter. I'm like, I'm not scared of this. And then we go to this damn fair, the Evergreen Fair up in Monroe or whatever it is. And it's not like they have these crazy roller coasters. There's just this one ride where when I was younger, I would have loved it. And my daughter is at the age now that I was when I loved this stuff. And I can't, like I said, I rode it one time with her, and I looked her in the eye and said, I was excited to get on because it looked scary, right? And I'm like, cool. We did the ride. She thought it was great. We got off of that thing. My body was shaking so bad. But it occurred to me, and I had to accept the fact, like, those years are done. I can still do roller coasters. They don't bug me. But
fair rides, I have a general respect for as far as being scared of the mechanical.
That is what was on my mind.
I'm 100% with you. As opposed to going to like a Disney World,
right? Where it's locked into the freaking concrete. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if one of those gave.
But that's exactly where
I don't
my
have
brain
that
was.
fear.
I'm looking at the kid running it. I know that all of these things are temporary, right? But I could not get that out of my mind. Where she's having a great time and she's screaming my name, and so I'm trying to be cool, but I'm like, I'm going to die on this goddamn thing. But the truth is, 9 times out of 10 that you read about a ride breaking down, it's an amusement park, not the local fair.
Yeah.
Right?
Have you ever been in one of those circles that start spinning around and then the floor drops?
Floor drops, yeah.
But the inertia keeps you up against the wall?
Sure.
I don't even think they harness you into those things.
They don't. You put your back against the wall.
You just hold on to the rails. The floor drops out. Like when I was a kid, that was awesome.
Okay.
Now I'd throw up.
The first time I did that, we were in Astral World in Houston, visiting family. I'm like 8 years old. And my brother explained to me, same thing, like, you're not going to be harnessed in, man. Just keep your back against the wall. and then the floor drops out. In my mind, when he said the floor drops out, this is the image I had, which is completely insane, but like the floor dropped like 800 feet, and the only thing you could see basically be the equivalent of outer space. This is what I had in my head in the line, but I don't want to be a bitch because I'm a boy and I'm with my older brother. So I'm not saying anything, but I cannot explain. That might be the most horrified I've ever been in my life before you actually did the activity.
Yeah.
You know, and you're waiting in this long-ass line. I did not want to get on there. We get on this thing, put my back against the wall. The floor drops. It drops like a foot. And in that moment, I was fine. Because I had imagined so much worse. So when it dropped, I'm like, even if I fall off the wall, I'm okay, man. So those things don't bug me, but it's only because I was very irrational about what the ride would actually be. So when I saw what it was, I'm like, all right.
The last 2 or 3 that I've seen that have had mechanical problems are those pirate ships.
Yes.
The ones that just swing right up to make us feel like, you're looking straight down at the ground.
Yeah.
And they swoop back down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the ones I've seen where they're starting to come apart. I'm just like, that's not good.
I don't love those so much.
I don't mind them. I can do them.
I can do them, but the older I've gotten,
they're just not that fun anymore.
No, because I'm thinking about dying now. When I was a kid, I'm like, yeah. Now I'm like,
my favorite thing of those places, to be honest with you, is when you get on the potato sack and you get down the slide.
Those are fun.
I love that. I don't know why. It's just dumbest little ride. But I'm like, all right, man, I'm going to climb up these steps, ride down this potato sack, and slide down this slide like the banana splits.
Look, man, slides are fun. They just don't make slides for adults. So when you do have the opportunity to do that, you're like, yeah. Like, I want an adult playground, right? You go to Maple Leaf, the kids are having fun on things that definitely address. They have that the zip line.
Yeah,
right.
The kids love this thing, and I mean, they're flying down there. My kids used to love it when they were little, and they're like, "Get on!" Oh, my feet are dragging on the ground. I'm like, "This isn't built for me."
Yeah.
I honestly feel like, look, have the zip line for kids. I get it, but every adult there secretly wants to do it, but we're all too big. Like, just put a bigger one next to it.
I told you, man, when I was down at Atlantis, I think it was in the Bahamas, went down there with a family, and they have a really nice water park. But they have the one where you climb up this tower. You go up like 6-7 floors.
Yeah.
And you just keep circling around. But you're in a line with a bunch of people waiting to get in line. And it's the stairwell is, it's packed. It's packed full of people. You can't turn around and walk down. So
no, you cannot.
Once you commit, you're in. And I did not feel good about this, just seeing how tall this water slide was. And at the bottom of it, you shoot through a tube where they keep their sharks. All right. So when you're in that tube, you look over, man, and you're under the water with sharks, which is also not my favorite thing. So anyway, all right. So Ava goes, I'm going to go first, Dad. I'm like, I'm trying not to, she's 10. I'm trying not to act like that I'm going to turn around, because I was thinking, okay, she's just going to go down, and then I'm going to turn around and walk down these steps. Right. I'll just meet her down by the pool. And it's got a red light on it, and the guy's up there, and he kind of takes her like a luge, like back and forth.
Yeah.
The light turns green, and all I hear is, Dad! And I asked this guy, I'm like, is this scary? He's like, don't worry, man. Your body doesn't even touch the slide. He's like, you won't even feel the water on your back. He's like, it's almost like you're elevating, above the water and above the slide. And I was like, okay. So he goes, let's just count to 3, man. You're next. 1, 2, and he throw 2.
Yeah.
He pushes
of
me
course.
down. Yeah. And I'm like, Dad! And I mean, he's right. It was like a free fall, and you cross your arms, cross your legs, and you hit the bottom. That slows you down. But then I'm looking, there's this huge ass lemon shark. He's like, like 10 feet long, right beside me. And I'm just like, this is insane. Like, I do not want to do this again. Like, this is.
Did you do it again?
No.
Okay.
No, hell no.
The last one I did was like I don't know what they call them. They're like the little alpine track up in Leavenworth.
Yeah.
Have you done it?
I have not.
It looks
done
pretty
it.
cool.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It is awesome. But there's 2 things that kind of threw me off. First, they have like a maximum, because some people go 2 people with like their kids.
Yeah.
So the maximum weight limit was like 340, and it's like, unless it's raining, then it's like 315. So I'm still wondering what happened.
What happened.
One day it rained.
You know what happened.
And then the other thing is, me and my buddies, right, because we were up there with like my buddy and his kids. So like the dudes, we were all like, I'm not using those brakes at all. Like, I'm not some P. Why'd you start whipping around on that thing? It's like, yeah, I'm going to use the brakes a little bit.
I bet you did.
Irrational or for good reason, what truly scares you and why? 206-803-ROB.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Still figuring out Mother's Day? We can arrange that. With Edible, it's easy to send a gift mom will love without the last-minute stress. Order online for delivery or easy in-store pickup and make Mother's Day feel thoughtful, simple, and handled.
Hello, Chad. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bichola.
Hola. What are you scared of, Chad?
Okay, so my fear is I used to drive one of those Honda Elite scooters.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. It would go like 75 miles an hour, but
damn, what did you have? What did you have, man? Did you have was that a 125, 150? What was that?
Yeah, it was a 150.
Okay.
So
I didn't realize it went that fast.
I didn't either. So I would work overnight at hotel doing night audit, and driving into work, I don't know why, but I would think like the manhole covers on the street would be missing.
I think that's a rational fear.
So I would always think like, the manhole cover is going to be gone, and I'm going to drive right into the sewer.
Oh, you thought you were going to sink into the hole.
Okay. See, my fear was like crossing the Cheese Grater Bridge, the Ballard Bridge, the Montlake Bridge, the Fremont Bridge, when it's back to rain.
Those are terrible. The only time I really thought I was going to die on my scooter when I had one was like, sometimes like in a lane, like, in just one lane roads, there's kind of like that ridge.
Yeah.
And man, I was going downhill in West Seattle. I mean, I must have had her up to like 30 or 35.
Get out of here. What in your hair?
I kind of got in that ridge, and I mean, that quick little half second of that wobble.
It's terrifying.
I was like, I'm going to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, my father used to bitch, and I never paid attention, and because he used to ride a racing bike, right? I mean, every single day. This is what the guy would do. And he had this odometer on there, and it would always record your top speed. And I remember he came home one day, and he just hands it to me. He's like, look at that, 54 freaking miles an hour. No. And he told me the hill he was on and all that. So
and those tires were like a half-inch thick.
That's the point.
Because those Italian racing bikes, man.
That's what he had.
They did not mess around.
But he really, if you ride a bike, don't ride on the sidewalk. As my dad said, if you can't ride your bike on the street, don't ride a goddamn bike. So he would ride, basically hugging the shoulder of the road. And he realized that almost every super great in Baltimore ran parallel to the road. If you look, most of the time now, they're perpendicular to the street. All right, but when he would ride his thing, his biggest fear was that his tires, because like you said, those tires were so thin, they fit into those grates, and people will go ass over head on the handlebars. So he would always kind of veer out to the left to avoid them. But it's like, then you don't want to get hit by a car. But it was, but he went over a couple of times because he would come home pissed at the city. And he's the guy, back then there's no email. So he's on the phone waiting on hold to talk to whoever you talk to about reorienting the grades, and I'm sure they're like, we'll get right on it. They're not listening.
There's if you're in the fast lane, if you're in the left lane and you're going south on I-5, right before you get to Federal Way, there is a groove in the road that will shift your car.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
6
about.
inches. And it just pops it real quick. You're like, Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
and it goes for probably like a quarter mile or a half mile because you go over a little ridge, and then it comes back down again. I don't know, man. I've been in it a couple times in the rain like that. That thing is dangerous.
I have not been on the Aurora Bridge, and I can't remember the last time. Do they still have like those half bowling balls?
I have avoided that thing at all costs ever since all this crap went down. I've taken every other bridge.
It's like they redesigned it.
Oh, the turtle shells or whatever they call them?
On those lanes are so narrow.
Oh, Aurora
anyway.
Bridge? Oh, God, I'm on that all the time.
Are they still on there?
Look, the fact that is not a 4-lane bridge is
we can make it 6.
Look, it wasn't the Ducks necessary. I mean, the wheel fell off the damn thing. But I have seen somebody lose their mirror with one of those big trucks, like where you have the mirrors that kind of jet out a little bit more, like you're towing something or whatever. I saw a dude lose that, like 2 cars in front of me, from a van going the other direction. I mean, you just see this explosion of plastic and crap flying everywhere. It should be a 2-lane road going each direction. It should not be 3 lanes.
It's the Seattle way. What can we do to make the roads more dangerous or less effective?
Yeah.
And they will do it.
Rational or for good reason, know what truly scares you and why. 206-803-ROCK.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this. Christian Healthcare Ministries is a health insurance alternative at half the cost. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/solution. That's chministries.org/solution.
Gone South has been a podcast about crime in the American South. But for our new season, we're widening the lens. Follow and listen to Gone South Season 5, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
This is the mighty 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room.
Few things that are either irrational or for good reason to freak people out. Being blinded. For some reason, I'm always paranoid. I don't want to be blind.
I don't want to be blind, but I'm not worried about it.
Quicksand.
Sure.
Tight places, claustrophobic. Family finding out I'm gay.
Oh.
Home invasion, burning to death, being stabbed, being raped, or having my face ripped off by an angry chimpanzee.
That's fair.
Another person says ventriloquist dolls. An elevator falling. Guys, I'm afraid of needles. Wasps, bees, being alone for the rest of my life. Here you go, Ted. Clowns, hate them. Deep water ocean where you can't see the bottom.
Yep.
Losing my teeth. Another one says staircases where you can see through the steps and spiral staircases where you can see straight to the ground.
Yeah, my wife does not like spiral staircases.
What about staircases that are all the same stair?
What do you mean?
Like big ones, and there's no designing feature? You know what I mean? Like the wood ones or whatever, and like
the ones across the street in Columbia Tower?
Yeah, those are kind of
area?
wide enough, but like, I don't know. You know what, to be honest with you, I just have a weird fear about falling downstairs. So like, right, I mean, this should, like, whenever I'm at that light rail station, like, you'll always catch me kind of like on the right side with like my hands slightly on the on the railing. Yeah, and I don't know, like, I haven't fallen down a bunch of stairs, but I'm always kind of worried about
I'm
it.
fast guy to the left, but it does amaze me how many people go down those cement stairs at the light rail just staring at their phone. I mean, they don't look up, man. And I'm like, bro, look, I'm not going to feel bad for you if you fall, but as a piece of advice, wait till you get to the bottom to look at the phone, man.
Correct.
Yeah.
Couple more escalators. This is very specific. Having a car accident on a bridge, careening off the bridge, landing in the water, can't escape and I'm out of my car and drowning.
Okay.
Not having the curtains or doors closed at night really freaks me out and scares me.
All right.
I do close my curtains at night.
I close my curtains at night just because, privacy
Obviously
reasons,
the door's closed.
How often do you check your door?
Just when I come in.
Yeah, just when I go to bed.
Yeah.
That's it.
I check my garage door more.
All right. Yeah, like I lock my front door, and then, but I just feel like, not every night, but there's often nights where like you're turning off all the lights, about to walk in the bedroom, like, let me just check one more time.
Yeah, you bring up the escalator thing. My daughter, when she was much younger, terrified of escalators. She had not been, but we're at the airport. I didn't think my son was alive yet, right? So she's tiny, maybe a year and a half. And I got on the escalator in front of her just to show her how to get on. And I understand it from the kid's point of view. We're like, hey, put your foot on. And before we can say, put your other foot on, she's trying to keep, one leg planted while the other foot's going up. Anyway, she ends up losing her balance. And she's at the very bottom of the escalator. And we're going up, so she didn't go down the escalator itself. But she fell down, and because the escalator keeps going, she's now like a rotisserie chicken. She just kept spinning and spinning. And, like, we're laughing, but now I have to run down the upgoing escalator to kind of grab her. It freaked her out. So for a couple of years, man. We ever get to the airport, that's roughly the only place we really encounter elevators, to be honest, or escalators. She would not get on, and I'd have to physically pick her up just to get to the top. She wouldn't do it. Now she's good. She's figured it out.
You know, I mean, escalators, if they're moving fast, can be a little...
I always check my shoelaces.
That's my fear.
Check
I don't
your
want my foot ripped off in basically a mechanical cheese grinder.
I remember a girl that there was like a daycare that this woman ran, and basically me and my brother and her 2 kids, and she took us to whatever department store, and the daughter ended up being okay, but her shoelace got caught at the top of the escalator, right? So someone hit the emergency stop, but just the amount of, she wasn't injured or anything, but it was just the sheer terror. But her shoelaces were embedded in there, but it pulls your shoelaces tight, so you can't even get your foot out of the shoe. She probably screamed at the top of her lungs for about 5 minutes, and I'm maybe 6 years old, and I just remember everyone was around her. You know, they're trying to calm her down. You could not calm her down. So I thought she was injured, and when it was all done, she was fine, but that freaked me out enough that even now, man, especially with the light rail, always check my laces, make sure they don't get in there.
But the people movers at the airport...
Don't bug me at all.
No, I'm
I love hopping off on those.
I'm fine.
I wish they all need arrows or just lanes.
Yes.
People do not understand them.
Dying by choking on my own vomit. That's always been a big fear of mine for whatever reason.
Oh, choking at home is still a big fear.
Yeah, but you've choked a couple times, right?
Yeah, hell,
that tiny throat.
I did it a couple weeks ago.
What was it this time?
Were you alone?
I was. Yeah.
What did you choke on?
I was eating a... God... It's not important.
Yes, it is.
Come on, man. What were you eating?
You ever put a candy bar in the freezer?
Yeah.
I was being impatient. We had a fun day at the brewery, and I was trying to bite it off before it got kind of cooled, like thawed a little bit, and a piece of caramel, like a shard of caramel.
Was that what messed up your throat? Was that the...
Correct.
Okay.
But then I was so freaked out, I tried to make myself vomit for like 10 minutes, but I could still breathe. And I was like, all right, I could, you know what I mean? I could breathe. And then, but like every time I took a sip of water, it was like weird. So then the next day, I was so freaked out. I went to like the walk-in clinic, like for our hospital.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, like I can't see anything in there. But he was like, it is very agitated. I was like, well, I tried to make myself throw up for 10 minutes.
Did you tell him what you're eating?
I did.
What kind of candy bar?
Yeah, I'm curious. Snickers.
Milky Way.
Milky Way.
Milky Way.
And
why do you put it in the freezer?
My grandparents used to.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he literally, when he left there, he goes, take this stuff, like gargle with this. It's just very inflamed. And then he went to walk out. Or 2 or 3 days, it was not even better to go to the emergency room. And he's like walking out, and he turns around and he goes, just take it easy and be careful. And I was like, I got you. And he goes, seriously, take it easy.
You're a grown-ass man. It's a frozen Milky Way bar. That's what he is telling
Is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
That's the message.
He was nice about it, but like, I wanted to be like, look, you're right. I'm dumb. Right?
Did he say you had a small throat when he looked at it?
I don't know, but I have a doctor's appointment next month for a yearly, and I'm going to say, hey, I got to go to the ear, nose, throat guy. Because my cousin Tom had a surgery on his because he had a tiny one. And then
genetically tied with a tiny throat.
I think all the Smiths have weird tiny throats.
Yeah, because your mom chokes all the time.
Yeah.
You've choked a couple times with an oyster, ice cube, and now a frozen Milky Way bar.
Yeah.
There's more in there.
Well, outside of the oyster, I should have frozen things in my mouth. I mean, look, you will rarely catch me drinking anything with ice at my home.
For fear that the cube's going to shoot down.
I didn't really put it together until right now, but like, I just don't keep ice in my house.
Okay.
I'll drink soda waters out of cans or
yeah.
brewski out of a can. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think the last time I just got fired up and had like a root beer. It was like, I'm going to put it on ice.
I mean, you got to think about an ice cube. It'll probably melt before you die.
Yeah,
probably.
You will panic.
Well, the ones that came in a tray, I got one of those stuck in there one time. I was like,
big fat square.
I was like, please. I was just thinking, you got to melt, bro. You got to melt.
Well, that was the like. He was like, he goes, it was caramel, and I go, yeah, and it was like as I was biting it, and he goes, I think it just kind of maybe like cut
nicked
it,
on the way down.
nicked it on the way down.
Skinny throat.
But I could still like breathe. I still like put my CPAP on and went to sleep. So I was like, all right, I'm not dying. But it still hurt so much the next day. I was like, I got to go check it out. And then he was like, don't talk and chill out.
Do you know what I do for a living?
Right. Luckily, we didn't have a live show the next day. So I was like,
oh, right.
I can actually like rest.
That does work out.
I ate more yogurt and pudding than I have.
Ooh, I've had pudding in a while.
You know what? It's pretty good.
I was going to say it is.
But it's hard to find vanilla pudding. Pre-made.
It is very difficult to find. You're right.
Irrational or for good reason, what truly scares you and why? 206-803-ROCK.
A lot of swirl.
Hello, Derek. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hola.
So, real quick, on behalf of choking, before I get to my fear, Miles, did you say the other day you had a friend that choked and then passed away on peanut butter?
No. This is my fear for me. I did not have that. I just know for a fact I sleepwalk and I eat.
Right.
And I will go down and get a spoon. And I also I like chunky peanut butter. And I'll just take a spoonful of peanut butter and then realize, like, I'll open up my refrigerator, like, I got nothing to eat. Then I'll run real quick, get a glass, get a cup of water, and try to get that thing down.
Yeah.
And then I'll wake up with, like, peanut butter on my fingers. So I've gone back down again. It's on my pillow, whatever the deal is. So it's just, there's a reason I need to keep that crap out of my house. And the reason is
I asked because sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just like a couple of weeks ago, we had a new peanut butter, and I was doing the same thing. And usually I'll just eat it, spoonful by spoonful. And I popped like 2 tablespoons in my mouth and go to try to swallow it down. And I swear, man, it got stuck in my throat to the point where I thought, like, for a couple moments, I was like, this is going to be the end of me. Like,
2 tablespoons of peanut butter is a lot of peanut butter.
If you're going natural peanut butter instead of like Jif or something like that, it's going. I mean, that's some thick ass peanut butter. You're stirring it like crazy for a reason, so it's going to stick a little bit more.
Thick ass peanut butter.
Yeah, that should be the name. Thick ass peanut butter.
The one that costs twice as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so besides peanut butter, I'd say trees, branches, treetops, trees in general, coming down would be one of my biggest fears.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Look, man, I've seen 2 trees die naturally in my lifetime.
Fall over, right?
Yeah. Both of them were on golf courses, but it was, I mean, look, they're 30 feet away from me, and they just died after how many hundreds of, however old that thing was, 50, 60 years. Just boom. Like, did you just see that? Like, what in the hell did that? We walked over, the root system's all pulled up.
Do you live around a lot of trees?
Yeah, so I live in Kirkland, but we got a little 1/4 acre over in Cleolum up by the lake. And it's up on the hillside there. And, we get a little cabin area, and I'm building a little tiny shed right now, a couple of them. And last year with that whole high wind and a lot of rain, my neighbor, unfortunately, had like 5 of them come down on his cabin. And so this year I've just been every weekend going up and cutting down 2 to 3 at a time. And we're talking 80 to 100 foot Doug firs with some of them about 3 foot in diameter, and trying to, having fun with wedges and placing them in the right spot, making sure they don't take anything out.
And another thing here, it's just so wet here, so the ground's just not as solid as a lot of other places. So we get those windstorms. Exactly. And look, we all know it. We hear it every year. Just, trees coming down everywhere. A couple times this past year, tied up by us. We couldn't pass the major road to get to our neighborhood. There's just a tree down. Again, I'm still bitter at this city because we had the tree in the neighbor's yard that it was like on fentanyl, right? You see something on fentanyl on 3rd Avenue, they're at a 45-degree angle, except this is like a 75-foot tall tree. We tried to convince the city, you need to let the neighbor cut it down. And we all reached out, and they kept saying, well, no, because it's one of 5, whatever kind of conifer this tree, which I called BS. Listen, all these goddamn trees here, for a fact, this is one of 5. Okay. Anyway, the tree's growing sideways. We kept saying it's going to fall down. They send out their arborists and understand they have a system how they do it here. It's complete BS. They're like, no, man, the tree is fine. It's not fine. Bro, we're looking at this. This way I want to cut it.
The problem is you'll never call them and tell them they were wrong. They'll never know they were wrong.
Oh, they know they were wrong.
I'll do that.
I've been screaming from the rooftop, but the thing came down and smashed. We had a little portable pergola that we put in the yard, and on weekends, when the weather's nice, that's where you'll find my ass, right? And this was on a Friday. It completely, like if I were laying there, I am gone. And I've told my wife, you missed out on millions of dollars, man. So don't be too bitter. But it just pissed me off because I'm like, look, even reasonably healthy trees in this part of the country will come down because of the moisture and the windstorms that we get. And we know this because it happens every freaking year, right? This tree is already like halfway down. And when you looked at the tree, it looked like someone snapped a photo of it falling and they just got it midway because that's how it grew. And again, this is the city of Seattle. So what I would say is if you think a tree is going to come down, F the city, chop that bitch down. And they do not care. They will let you die. It does not matter. I am still pissed about that. It has to be, 5 years ago? 4 years ago?
Bless you.
Because, we told you. You looked at it. You sent out fake-ass arborists, but you sent them out there. When we got the UW arborists, they were like, of course the tree's going to come down. Why did you call us?
Just give them a couple of pine cones and go, dude, go plant one.
Here's the thing, right? So they kept saying, it's 1 of 5. Bull ass. Anyway, we still have 12 pine cones from the things. The pine cones were interesting because they are massive.
Right.
Man. They
just give them 3 of those and go say, hey, go plant these.
The Monday after the tree came down to my yard, I was my wife had to talk me off the ledge because City Hall's right down the street. I'm I'm going to kick open that door, beat the living ass out of somebody, and hand them one of these pine cones. Plant it, bitch. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I have so many. We still have probably 15 from the street. So Seattle, if you want to grow more of them, we got them. Some of my neighbor whose houses were also wrecked, they got them. So the whole time you're going on 1 of 5, I'm you realize this thing drops pine cones. And when they drop pine cones, it sounded like a bomb coming into Pearl Harbor. You heard it, and everyone would scatter. And when they hit the ground, like I said, very tall tree, very large pine cones. So I'm I don't understand what the problem is when we have the seeds that you need to replant these trees if you think these trees are that goddamn important. I just don't get it. Well, like I said, I don't trust the city on that ass.
Not just
at all.
trees, branches too.
Yes.
I was staying at a friend's house, and they have a nice piece of property, and I had set up a tent kind of in the underneath the trees. I was get some shade or whatever.
Were they no?
No, honestly, he didn't even think about it. We were inside, and it was summertime, and a storm blew in or whatever. And same thing, your pergola. We went out there, and I was yeah, it's a big branch on my tent.
Oh, did it fall?
I probably would have been okay, but it would have hurt.
Yeah.
So I moved the tent.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Irrational or for good reason, what truly scares you and why? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Brock. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Okay, I'm going to start this. I started skiing when I was 5 and pretty much skied my whole life. Would go up, 80 times a year. Was a ski instructor. Had a ski school that I started. So basically a skier. As I got older, I got afraid of a chairlift. And I know how it happened. And it goes back to, I think Miles was talking about going somewhere with his kids. And I had the kids on this one chair, and they're older, and they've been skiing for a while, so it wasn't it was the first time they were skiing or anything. They'd been skiing for years. But we're on this chair at Central called Silver Fir, and there's a big, huge gap. And you're about 50, 60 feet in the air, and it's between the riblets is probably a good 100, 200 yards. So it's a ways between these two spots. And I just freaked out. My kids were moving around on the chair, and I'm the chair, it's shaking a little bit, and it's all of a sudden, oh my God, you guys stop that. Don't, please stop moving around. And then they saw me getting scared, so they kept doing it, and they thought it was funny, and, freak out dad. And
those also used to be open air. Oh, yeah. Supposed to be the point where there's not even a bar going across your lap.
Yeah, you just sat down.
You just sat down and held on.
Well, that was the thing back then. There was 2 chairs, and you had that pole in the middle, so you just grab and hold on to that pole. And it's when they started having no poles in between that I think that also kind of freaks me out, because now when I go on that chair in that one spot, I have to reach behind me and grab the chair behind, holding on, and it's not to where I won't go on the lifts anymore, but it did freak me out. And I actually had a friend that he had a similar situation to where he couldn't ski for a while. He had to give up skiing. He finally got over it.
The thing that bugs me on a
chairlift.
The thing that bugs me on a chairlift, and it's not the height, it's not the length, and I get what you're saying, right? I mean, you're just dangling up in the air, essentially. The only thing on my mind when I'm on a chairlift is when you successfully get off of the chairlift, right? When you get that moment to get on your skis, because I've eaten it so many times, and it's so humiliating, and I'm man, just don't fall. Look, I would almost rather fall out of the chairlift and smash into the snow. I'm just get up and do not fall when it's time to get off.
There's a tram, there's a gondola that goes in between the 2 mountains on Whistler. Now, the day did not seem that windy to me, but we were going from mountain to mountain on this gondola.
Yeah.
And you got to take your skis off. You got to carry them. And everybody just kind of walks onto this thing. It's a completely covered gondola.
Yeah.
We get out over this massive valley, and the wind is whipping. And the gondola is swinging side to side while moving forward. People's skis are flying around, the poles are flying around. You couldn't hold on to anything. And, man, I'm telling you what, it was – I could not believe how much that thing listed, so to speak, side to side.
It's terrifying.
I thought we were going to die. And then at one point in time, like, it was swinging so much. When you looked out the window, you were looking straight down into the valley.
Right.
And you're still moving forward. And this thing is still holding onto a cable. I'm like, this sucks. This is why I hate this sport. There's stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the skiing wasn't bad enough all the way down this mountain, man, because it takes forever to get down that thing. Like 2 hours, man. If you're on top of Whistler, it takes 2 hours. It took me 2 hours.
How many runs is that?
Well, there's like 3 different stop points to get off. We were at the very top. So you basically, what I ended up doing was getting back on one chairlift
to go down a little bit
and going down. Now, if you've never gone down the chairlift before, that'll freak you out more than going up.
I believe that.
Because you feel like you're going to fall forward. Anyway, Who Sucks Last is coming up at 4:30, and we've got your emails on the way next to the men's room at KISW.com.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Who Sucks Last is coming up at first time for a few emails to the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Few comments on our question, irrational or for good reason, what truly scares you and why, guys? Spiders, because they're terrifying. Once you've been bitten and watch yourself get bitten, you're pretty much an arachnophobe from now on. And in Colorado, you used to have to brush them off you because they were crawling around on you everywhere. Did you have that experience growing up?
I did not have that experience in Colorado. That is where I saw the one and only black widow I've ever seen in my life, though.
Well, there you go.
I didn't know it was a black widow. I can't explain it, but basically their markings let you know not to F with it. I picked up a rock. I'm hanging out with some friends. I picked up a rock, and under it in the divot was a black widow. I did not know what it was.
The red marking you're talking about?
It is jet black with the red mark, and I'd never seen one, never heard one, and in that moment, I just knew, like, don't F with this thing. And I believe I screamed the word no and slammed the rock down, but it skeeved me out enough where I told my mother when I got home what it looked like, and she's like, that is a black widow. Did it bite you? I said, no. I freaked out, and I think I crushed it. I don't know. So she explained to me what they were, and that made it worse.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I didn't plan to interact with spiders anyway, but she told me that. I'm like, nope.
I've fallen 3 times in the shower, and now I loathe taking a shower, but I do it anyway. Anyone else pray before bathing? No, man. But,
damn.
Yeah.
A prayer before bathing. Sounds like a bad book.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's just...
I mean, I guess after you've done it, you don't want to do it again.
Right, and then just law of averages. I mean, I'm generally in the shower 365 days a year. Yep. Right, then you add in some days that you take a second shower or whatever. It's just like...
Well, look at the number of people who passed on from falling. It only takes a couple times, and then, I don't know. Uncle was struck by lightning twice. He's still alive and in his late 70s.
Twice?
There's another person with a multiple strike.
What happens, it doesn't happen to everyone, but like you said at the top of the show, Miles, it seems like someone will be struck by lightning, and then for whatever reason, after that, lightning follows them around. And it's such a weird, because there was a guy who's been struck like 7 times, even in the Guinness book, and it's like, man, I got struck, and then after that, pretty much every 2 years, he could almost bank on the fact that he'd get hit again.
The weirdest thing about waking up, when I sat up, the tree above me was on fire.
Yeah, that's a weird way to wake up.
One of the branches had
biblical.
Had split. One of the bigger branches when it hit, kind of was a Y tree. One of the big branches came off and went into the woods. Thank God, because it would have come our way. It probably would have landed on one of us. But it's very difficult to make the decision. What you're supposed to do is get in a very low, like in a tornado situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Get in a low-lying ditch, lay down. It's also pouring down rain.
Right, that's the problem.
The last thing you want to do is to lay down in a ditch in an open field.
In the rain.
And get rained on.
I've never been struck by lightning, but we did, to your point, watching the tree kind of split in half. Me and my buddy Leon, it was dumping rain. We walked 4 blocks. This was it. Our friends up the street throwing a party. Can you guys grab beer on the way? We both got a case of beer, but they were glass bottles. I always remember that. And the guy... because you could just buy it at the bar. The guy at the bar gave us trash bags because it was dumping rain, but it wasn't lightning. So he put these trash bags on us, ripped it open so we could see out. We're kind of laughing, but we both had a case of beer. And the tree directly across the street, this was in Sewebo, right? Gets hit by lightning. And like you said, the sparks fly off. Half of it falls down, but it was so loud and so close. We both screamed and dropped the beer. And I want to say out of the 48 beers, maybe 4 of them survived.
Oh, God.
But everyone was giving us grief, and we're like, yo, man, did you guys hear the thunder? They're like, yeah. So look down the street, that tree that's kind of on fire. It hit there. We were across the street. It scared the living.
Yeah, I've been in a car when I was a kid, and maybe a car in front of us, and then was a telephone pole with a transformer, and that got struck.
Oh, man. How big was that explosion?
Oh, my God. And I mean, all I remember was screaming, right? And I remember like yesterday, we'd gone to Errol's to get videotapes and like get a pizza. It was like Friday night. And then I remember even when we got home, there was so much lightning that we like, my mom, we had to like wait and then be like, all right, you go.
Oh, really? One at a time?
Yeah. We were shook.
I flew out of Birmingham, Alabama in a rainstorm, and it was on ascent. So we're going through the clouds, and all of a sudden there's this flash, and that was about it. We're like, oh, man, we are in the clouds. That is lightning, blah, blah, blah. As soon as we level out, the captain comes on. He goes, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, the plane got hit by lightning as we were going through the clouds. We checked with everything, and I don't think we're going to need to turn around. Everything's functioning properly. The plane did exactly what it's supposed to do. So if you felt anything back there, just know that we are okay, and we should be in time to get you to your destination on time.
Bring it up.
Well, that's what I thought, too. I was like,
does
he think that everyone knows that the plane was hit by lightning? Because I didn't know. Well, you saw the flash.
Right.
But you didn't know
anything.
The lightning hit the plane.
So are you more paranoid after his quote-unquote reassurance?
Well, I never would have known, like you said.
Yeah, like, why are you bringing this up, man?
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I will say, I started following a pilot, and he does stuff online and just explains how it works.
Okay.
So he basically was like, turbulence is terrible, but he's like, you just relax. He's like, they're built that way and stuff. So maybe that's just one of those things. Because some people, if you were sitting by the window in the wing, you saw it.
Maybe he's got a lightning rod on top.
He's just like, hey, just so you know, we did get hit, but we're good.
I think.
Chris in Des Moines here got stuck on the Ring of Fire for an hour and a half at Wild Waves. But I'm afraid of drowning or dying in a fire. Ted, I did the Alpine coaster in Colorado once. Asked them if I had to use the brakes at all, and they said no. I clarified and asked, what if you're a big fat guy, which I am? And the answer was, it's all good. Just got to remember to hit the brakes a bit earlier at the end, or you'll slam into the back of the car in front of you. And maybe screw up your wife's back for the rest of your vacation.
Oh.
I just didn't have the guts not to hit the brakes.
I completely understand.
That thing starts whipping.
I have a fear of fish. I have nightmares of fish flopping on me. It sucked when my son was young and I had to clean his goldfish bowl. I was sweating and shaking the entire time.
A fear of fish flopping on you.
That's a weird one.
Like, what is the circumstance? Like, Ted, I believe you're more likely to run into a clown that has a snake draped around its neck than a fish flopping on top of you.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure where these fish are coming from.
And why are they flopping on you? What has happened that you're in a position that these dead fish are flopping on you?
Man, I'm not sure I'd care. Like, unless it's like a barracuda.
Or a piranha. Yeah.
Jumping into the water at night, what freaks me out the most. We took a hot tub boat out on the Lake Union with my family, dared each other to jump out as the sun was setting. I was trying to be tough in front of my kids, but the water was black, freezing, and I was sure that there was a shark waiting for me. I don't think there's any sharks in South Lake Union.
It doesn't matter.
The biggest fish you're going to find in there, maybe. It's going to be more likely in Lake Washington as a sturgeon. But you're not, they're not going to come up the Ballard locks.
But it doesn't matter. When Jaws came out, I did not want to get into the bathtub.
Yeah.
And my parents were explaining a great white shark, A, it's not in the bathtub, and 2, even if it wanted to be, it cannot get through the drain. But I'm like, I'll take a shower. Not getting in that.
Something definitely goes down on South Lake Union because I've seen a map of every single boat that is at the bottom of that lake that sank. And it's over 100 boats. It's insane. Obviously mechanical failures.
Sure.
I don't know what happened, but, man, there are a ton of boats at the bottom of that lake for the size of it.
I don't know. That's not help.
That's crazy.
He's right, though. Like, I don't know. Generally in lakes, I'm okay. I guess Lake Union's a little bit different because it's brackish and there is some of the salt water in there.
Either way, like I said, you could be in a pond and you're still thinking there's going to be a shark in there.
Well,
pond shark that no one knows about.
Man, I swam out to a buoy in Jamaica at night because it was so calm.
Right.
I was like, I'm just going to do it like Jaws.
Isn't that when they feed?
I'm going to swim out there and touch the thing. I don't know. But I did it.
Sure.
I swam out, touched the boat, but now I was flying. By the time I got back in, I was I was terrified. I didn't know what was going to be in there, but I was like, I'm going to do this, man.
Yeah, I would not.
I wouldn't overcome my fear.
And again, Jaws did not help.
All right, coming up here at 5:08, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day. But first,
now, the men's room wants to know who sucks less.
Hey, time for Who Sucks Less. Stephen Throwhill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They always suck. However, it's up to us to determine out of the 3 stories which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to like the Men's Room on Facebook or follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yeah, and this week's a little bit weird. Not everyone is awful. You just got to wonder where their heads are, but let us just begin. Today, we're dealing with familial death. So deputies in Hillsborough County in Florida, they responded to a call about possible human remains in a wooded area on Ramblewood Road. Now, at the time, the medical examiner's office said there were no apparent signs of trauma and confirmed the remains were, in fact, of a human woman. Detectives were able to find potential leads following an extensive investigation and DNA evidence processing, what the hell, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they identified the victim as 78-year-old Jacqueline Cerrone. They determined that a family member caring for Cerrone disposed of her remains in the woods after her death. They do not believe that the woman killed her, just disposed of her remains. Now, Rebecca Vaughn, that's the victim's niece, she's now facing multiple charges, including unlawfully holding or moving a dead body in unapproved conditions, failure to report death to the medical examiner or law enforcement, and tampering with physical evidence. As a side note, they did a bit of a deep dive on this family. That is not an uncommon practice for that family. Okay, so I don't know what their deal is. I don't know if it's religious, but they have burial plots on their land, et cetera, et cetera. But it's still illegal. All right. Now we go to China for these last 2 stories. And as I say, nothing pains a mother more than the loss of their child. Agreed. So if you could spare them the pain of such a tragedy by deceiving them, would you do it? That is the question that this story poses. So the South China Morning Post newspaper, they reported the case of a family that commissioned an AI clone of a man killed in a car accident so that his 80-year-old mother could continue communicating with him via video.
And
but
she
does not know
that
this.
he's passed on.
So the digital model is created using photos, videos, and audio recordings of the deceased ended up looking and sounding eerily realistic, using the same accent and distinctive speech pattern, and even borrowing the same mannerisms, such as leaning forward when he speaks. So she does all this over Zoom and believes that her son is alive. Now, the man's 80-year-old mother, she was never informed of his passing, and she continues to believe that he's busy working in another city. And to keep up the illusion and spare her the pain and the sorrow in her old age, the family sets up video calls with the AI clone. Now, the elderly mother, she urges her son, take care of himself, eat well, warm clothes, all the things that your mom is going to ask you to do. And meanwhile, the son promises to come by her place someday soon when he's less busy with work. Now, the deceased was the elderly woman's only child. And seeing as she also suffers from heart disease, her family decided to conceal the news of his passing from her. And the case, as you might imagine, sparked controversy on Chinese social media, splitting the public into 2 camps. One going, hey, isn't that sweet? The other going, hey, mate, it's her kid. You need to let her know. All right? So that's one of these. We stay in China, where 5 years ago, a Shanghai policeman took on the role of son to help comfort an elderly couple who he had never met before. So they had lost their own son in a tragic accident 15 years ago, and the policeman's similar appearance helped comfort him. So in 2003, Ling Kuai-ying and her son, Ling Yu, they were exposed to poison gas during a freak accident. Now, the woman survived, but her son did not. Now, she's a former school teacher. She was left paralyzed, mentally impaired following the accident, and her husband could not bear to tell her the truth about their son. So instead, whenever his wife asked to see the son, he kept saying that he'd gone to work in another city. Fast forward 7 years. So while watching a TV show about police work, the father was stunned to see an officer that looked just like his deceased son. So he immediately knew that the young man was the answer for making his wife smile again. But he had no idea how to get in touch with the guy. So he went on a television show to appeal for information on the cop that he'd seen on TV. Now, he was unable to discover any leads worth investigating, but 3 years after that, he was unable to discover, So 3 years after that, on a reality show, this cop had showed up talking about police work. And that's when the father made an appeal to this cop and explained the story. Well, the cop agreed. So then the cop has oftentimes been on the phone with his fake mom, convincing her that he is the son, even calls her mom and everything else. And she is proud that her son, quote unquote, is now a policeman in another city. So again, just to sum it up, we have the woman who disposed of her aunt in the woods. Sounds horrible until you realize this family's history.
And she wasn't doing it for to continue Social Security payments.
None of that.
It was not a cash grab.
This is the family's weird, but no, there was no cash grab. She's not accessing her accounts. She was not trying to convince anyone she was still alive. That's just where they bury or dispose of the bodies. Strangers stumbled upon it, called the cops. They pieced it together. The other two in China, you have basically the AI-generated son for this woman. It's her only son. She does not know that he's dead, and she has conversations once a week with him, and they have cloned him pretty well as far as the Zoom calls go. So she is happy, believes her son is healthy. And then the other situation in China, where the mother lost her son, but they found a policeman that looks enough like him, and even the policeman, agreed basically to dupe this woman. And again, no one's stealing from him. No, nothing like that. This is tough.
The women in China, like I know the one lady's 80 with the cloned son.
Yes.
Is she does she have memory loss?
No, nothing like that. She's just 80 years old, so she's probably in the same condition as most 80-year-olds. And she believes her son's in another city. That's why they Zoom. But they basically did an exact AI replica of this kid to talk to the mom. And then in the other case, the cop is physically posing as her son. But I do not believe, as far as this article goes, I don't believe he's had any physical interaction with her. But same thing, on the phone, over video, all that kind of thing. I told you this one's tough, man. Like I said, it's weird, and it's really effed up. But no one has ill intent, as best I can tell.
I mean, honestly, this is probably one of the easier ones for me to say who sucks less. I think it's the woman in Florida.
I do too.
Just because maybe they live in a rural area and that's just what they do.
We'll throw them out there, maybe a gator will come and eat it and just take the body away.
But the people in China, I'm with you. I don't know if that's good or bad. Part of me feels like,
well, you're saving a person grief for sure.
You get why they're doing it, but deception still isn't great when you're talking about someone who's dead. And as Mike said to me earlier, man, that's part of life, and you got to go through grief, right? I mean, it's something you got to do.
And Mike, I agree with you 100%. But only because this is out of the order.
Right. You never want to
outlive your parents.
Correct.
Yep. I'm going to Florida. Florida sucks less, Ted.
Florida sucks less, but I'm still trying to decide. I mean, now I'm just talking about it. I don't know where I fall on this China thing, because I feel bad for these moms.
But that's the whole point.
But they don't feel bad.
We all feel bad for them, but we're the only people. They're the only people that don't know that the kid they're talking to is either fake or not their actual kid. But like I said, everyone's heart is in the right place. But you're like, it's kind of effed up, man.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of people out there who don't realize that their dad that they think is their dad is not their dad.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
There's a lot of things like that. But, if you raise a kid, he's still your kid.
That's how that works.
So,
right.
In this instance,
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, I guess I'd feel different if they, I don't know, maybe if they had told her and she doesn't remember.
Or if they told her and they said, well, we've generated this thing to bring you comfort. It's just like talking to them, right? Which is like someone stuffing their actual dog, Obviously, it's just, I don't know. I just read these two stories. I'm like, what is going on there?
In the stuff, just talk about China. We brought it up last night on the podcast, new episode out. Just like, why do they have robots running marathons? So I think in the end, one of the China one, probably the AI one sucks the most just because there's no reason to do it.
You're sparing the mom. I think that one sucks.
Well, China.
Would you rather find out, right, that the person you're talking, you do not know their dad? Would you rather find out that you've been talking to an AI-generated thing that your family has created, or that an actual physical human being, the cop, has been posing as your kid?
I don't know. One that scares me the most right now in China is you see where the robots are driving the train or driving the trams at the airports that hold the luggage.
Yes.
On the tarmac. They're loading the bags onto the carousel. Ugh. They go into the the cockpit. Go in the airplane, fuselage, whatever. I saw that video and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
Here we are.
You've got to be kidding me. Debate continues on Who Sucks Less. If you like the Men's Room on Facebook or follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live. All right, coming up at 5:08, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to the Men's Room.
Still figuring out Mother's Day? We can arrange that. With Edible, it's easy to send a gift Mom will love without the last-minute stress. Order online for delivery or easy in-store pickup and make Mother's Day feel thoughtful, simple, and handled.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this. Christian Healthcare Ministries is a health insurance alternative at half the cost. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/solution. That's chministries.org/solution.
Lemonade! Fresh squeezed lemonade! Lemonade? Oh, nuts.
Is your business struggling to be seen? Not reaching the right customers?
Yeah.
Odyssey's here to help. Your one-stop shop for digital marketing.
Wait, really?
With targeted digital media, plus SEO, SEM, social, OTT, and more, we help your business reach the right audience and drive results.
Whoa, hey, one at a time.
Stop missing out on valuable customers. Visit digitallocalads.com to learn more about our local advertising solutions. That's digitallocalads.com.
Okay, people, line starts here.
9.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
All right, coming up at 5:08, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. A new analysis found that yoga may lower blood pressure in people with excess weight.
It's not kind of what yoga does in general.
You stretch, you get the blood flowing.
Right, it's an exercise.
Why don't they just say if you're a human being, yoga will be beneficial?
Correct. I told you, I did the P90X thing. I never sweated any harder than on the days that it was yoga. Right. And I did not think that was the thing. I had a completely different understanding of what yoga was until I did it. This sucks.
Activate your capillaries.
Absolutely.
So, like, your fingers, all the small...
I mean, haven't they known this about yoga that's been around for 2,000 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad you did the study, guys.
It's more than just mind and body. You're stretching things. You're moving things. Get moving.
Again, how do you get money for these studies?
Yeah, no kidding.
They've been saying this for 2,000 goddamn years.
Is there just like a questions board that you just kind of grab off of, like, here, I can answer that one for $50 million?
I think what you do, you write every possible question on the board, and then someone puts on the blindfold, throws a dart, and you're like, all right, let's get funding for that.
Hell yeah.
Why is the sun warm?
Lakes in the U.S. are starting to get wrecked due to people flushing their unwanted goldfish.
I just showed Steve a picture of one in the Inner Harbor, which is brackish in Maryland. And I mean, this goldfish,
a big-ass fish.
It's like 3 feet. It's huge.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Say this. So the goldfish are living. Yes. They're flushing their own. They don't want them anymore, and so they just flush them down the toilet.
How do you get overwhelmed by taking care of a goldfish?
No kidding. I don't think it's overwhelmed. I think you're just over it.
But still, man. I mean,
fish are a boring pet.
They're super boring.
Look at my little fish. He's a fish. He doesn't do
tropical
nothing.
might be interesting, but you know what it is? It's a goldfish. If you're willing to put it in a bag and hand it to a child because they sunk 3 baskets at the school fair, like, it's low maintenance.
The
man.
bubbles mean he's happy. He's a fish.
Wow. I mean, I even get the gators more. You go like, oh my God. At some point, you go like, why did we grab this gator?
No kidding.
It's going to be a gator. Goldfish, you're like, Jesus Christ.
Right.
That's an hors d'oeuvre.
How long do they last?
I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't have the best track record, so I don't know.
Average lifespan of goldfish, 10 to 15 years. Jeez, a whiz.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never done that.
Time to get rid of that little guy.
We just never had like an actual tank. We always just had them in a bowl.
Because it's a goldfish.
So I don't feel like they can last 10 or 15 years
That's
in a
what
bowl.
I mean. Like, goldfish don't even inspire a lot of people to buy the tank.
No.
They're just not cool enough.
Can you eat goldfish?
I'm sure you can.
Can you catch that 3-footer?
No, they're carp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just not going to be good meat, or
I don't know. Most people don't eat carp.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, I've never seen it on the menu anywhere.
Fair.
It's just.
I think it'd be hard to remove the bones. It's too tiny.
Catfish are dirty fish, but people
good.
eat them.
Yeah, true enough. I'm just thinking, you let it get big enough, it'll be a lot easier. Right? Yeah, your little
times are getting tough.
Your little bold goldfish, yeah, he's not gonna do all that well. But that 3-footer, man,
oh yeah,
throw him in the pool out back. A new study found that it only takes 3 minutes of watching fitness videos on TikTok for men to feel like they're falling short.
I can't believe I would spend 3 minutes watching an exercise video on TikTok.
I think it's just you're scrolling, and then you end up on Fitness Talk, as it were, and then you see a bunch of dudes just.
I get it. I just, that has so little appeal to me. Like, I would not give you 3 minutes of my time
You are an anomaly, though, man. You don't work out. You don't eat your vegetables. Like,
all right, man. You're working good for you.
You've never cared, man, because your body is just an anomaly. You drink and smoke and don't eat your vegetables. You don't exercise, and you're probably in better condition than any of the four of us.
I might die next year. We don't know. That's just. What's going on inside?
Right.
I don't know.
All of a sudden, you're just going to tilt one day, man.
Well, I mean,
wake up. Oh my God!
Did you say last week the one time your blood pressure was high? You're like, I was out doing stuff the night before.
Yeah, the guy, because I say, we're going to do your blood pressure. And I say, man, normally I have really good blood pressure. And I do. And he goes, it's a little bit elevated. And I'm like, I was doing cocaine last night, brother. The look on his face. But with the doctor, I do like being honest.
Sure.
Because they ask you these things. And I'm like, I'm telling you that.
You're not going to tell the cops, right?
Yeah, and I mean, just like, that's why. Honestly. So, like, my blood pressure is always very, very, very good. They always comment on it. Yeah, but honestly, I was like, I was doing cocaine last night. That is why.
Yeah, so I think that's what Mike's saying. Like, I think the insides are good, too.
Yeah, right. Boom.
Put your thinking caps on, Jen. It's time for the Merriam-Webster word of the day. I give you guys a 90% chance of success with this one. It's a verb brought to you by the letter S. Now, in general context, it means to form ideas or theories about something, usually when there are many things not known about it.
Hypothesis.
S word.
S.
Oh, damn.
Surmising.
Man, I said that confident, too. Oh, gotcha.
Give the definition one more time.
Let's see. To form ideas or... Good work, Ted.
Yep.
To form ideas or theories about something, usually when there are many things not known about it.
Not synopsis.
You're right, though. Yeah, like that worked.
I know. I just when you
it's not-
described it, I just lost the S part. It was like,
Speculate.
Speculate.
There you go. Well done, Miles. Well done.
speculation.
Or hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
They're both S words if you spell it wrong.
I mean, is that not the definition of a hypothesis as well?
A hypothesis is your speculation of what will happen in an experiment.
But after studying and educating yourself on it,
Yes,
not
correct.
spitballing.
You reach the hypothesis.
No. The hypothesis is what you believe is going to, I believe that this is going to happen based on your prior knowledge and whatnot, with the idea that you will then conduct an experiment that will either prove or disprove your hypothesis.
Spitballing could work on this too.
Yeah.
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 Spitballing.
That's
That's
right.
Spitballing.
Hypothesis. That might be the promo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to make fun of spitballing now. At least it's an ass.
The longest solar eclipse of the century is due to arrive in mid-August of this year.
All right. Will we be able to see it from here?
No, it's going to go over. It's going to go over the Mediterranean area, kind of northern Africa, and that little corridor that's right there.
Why'd you bring it
Well,
up?
according to you and your travels, people will travel to watch this thing.
They will.
Oh,
It was the
100%.
one, we did not plan. We had planned to go to Mazatlan. Was this last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember. But the
wasn't very
complete
long
solar
ago.
eclipse, whatever.
Yeah.
And we did not know until after we landed that Mazatlan was like the best place on this planet to see this eclipse. And of course, the day of the eclipse was the flight that the day that our flight left.
Oh.
And look, this being a space nerd, it just pissed me off. I kind of kept it under wraps, but like the whole time we're on the plane, I'm like, we were literally in the best
should have
spot.
stayed one more day.
We thought about it, but dude, honest to God, because that was the place to be, everything was sold out.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
It was almost
Yep,
like as soon
yep.
as we checked out of the room, the people going in after us are basically waiting in the lobby.
Right.
Because we did look into it just to satisfy my little space nerd itch, but it wasn't happening.
Damn. Yeah.
And then Mike brings up, well, if you're in the Mediterranean, kiss my ass.
It's going to be like 6 minutes and 40 seconds, something
That's
like
all
that.
I need.
I know.
You know.
And it's really cool when we're sitting here,
It's
and then
like
all of a sudden
sex.
everything just goes dark for no reason. It's blue skies and it's dark outside. Like, damn.
Don't even like all the animals shut up. Like someone was telling me, like when you hear birds chirping and all this kind of thing, and then the eclipse happens and it's almost just dead, silent.
Yeah.
Everywhere. That's probably why back in the Stone Age and all that, they really freaked the F out about that.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Aside from the fact that the sun is being devoured.
And
but
all the
also-
shadows look different, too.
Yeah.
They all got a half moon shape in the shadows, and that's weird. If you have zero idea what's going on, yeah, the world's ending.
Yeah, for sure.
This is bad. Let's see here, guys. We've been talking a lot about past experiences, whatnot. How about past knowledge and things that you haven't known to be true, or rather just things that you learned way too late in life?
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
So this here is a BuzzFeed list that asked the question, what's something you didn't learn the truth about until an embarrassingly long later time in life? And here's the
general knowledge on that. Just basic knowledge. You either know something or you don't.
Right. You know,
back to the
don't
conversation
know.
I was saying about heirloom tomatoes.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't realize they were called that because you passed those seeds down onto your family, and they were your family's seeds.
I think the difference with you,
it's right there in the name,
is that most people didn't know that. I mean, one thing if we all said, Miles, no kidding, then you feel stupid.
Right.
At least you had the experience of, here's an epiphany I can share with it.
Like if they cherry tomato, right?
Yeah.
Or grape tomato. If they said, you know what? These were genetically processed from grapes. I'd be like, all right.
That makes sense.
Because it's grape.
Right.
Or cherry.
Exactly.
Heirloom, I never even put it together.
No, you just thought it sounded fancy.
Right. Also, I used to think it was colored greens, not collard.
Right?
Yeah, that one threw us all for a loop. Because we were like, look, this was 2003, I think.
Yeah.
And Miles brought it up.
We've all got them.
And Ted and I kind of looked at each other like, what did you call them? He was like, collard greens. We're like, dude, they're collard greens. And then for various reasons, that is a horrible name for them.
It is, but it's also redundant. Green is a color.
Well, you thought some woman was trying to steal your groceries at the grocery store because you didn't realize there's baggers existed.
I knew baggers existed. They had not been in that grocery store for a hot minute. And she looked unique. So I thought perhaps she had rolled in off the street and was stealing my stuff.
You thought women had sperm.
Yeah.
Don't bring me into this. You're a racist.
I thought the Eskimo on the back of the Alaska Airlines planes was Abraham Lincoln.
No, but you're not the only one.
Exactly.
So many people are like, well, yeah. I'm like, why would Abraham Lincoln
I didn't know.
be on an airline called Alaska? If nothing, you just never
didn't make
thought.
sense to me either. Like, why is hang on. I was thinking of one. Why is there a Jolly Green Giant for friggin' vegetables?
Beanstalks.
Yeah, beanstalks. He's a big green
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
Why is there a tiger for Frosted Flakes?
That one I don't know.
Okay. Some things don't make sense, Steve.
So that tiger for Frosted Flakes got Abraham Lincoln on Alaska Air.
There you go. You know what? Maybe Abraham Lincoln would have chosen Alaska.
Yes.
Or
That's their slogan.
Alaska. I didn't know. So here we go.
I didn't even know what Alaska was.
I know.
We're all guilty of this.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
Right.
So this one, bottom of the list, somebody said, apparently narwhals are real. Did not know that they were real.
Oh, I probably didn't know that till about somewhere between 8-10 years ago.
They were unicorn whales, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, people saw pictures and thought, and pre-Photoshop, but like, oh, it's probably like a unicorn whale.
Exactly.
But even when you told them, like, dude, that's a real animal. They're like, come on.
Do they hunt with that spear?
I don't
Do they
know
use
that
it
they
as-
do.
I mean,
I think they use it as defense.
Right. Yeah, what is the practical application?
Because
So they
if you
stab
hunted
you.
with it, you spear a fish, and you don't have arms, say, Miles,
It's stuck to your
that
face.
fish is just, that's the carrot in front of the goat, man.
Let's see.
Boy, that would suck.
Primarily for social, sensory, and hunting purposes.
Oh,
nice. All right, so they do spearfish.
Social. Okay, baby.
Yeah.
I like your
Rub noses.
I thought every song played on the radio was being played live in the radio station. I will say, I thought they were actually playing the music in the music videos. The video that broke me at that is I had a really big Queen phase, and I watched, I forget, Don't Stop Me Now, I think is what it was. And at the end of the song, Freddie Mercury is singing a cappella, other than the fact that there's a piano that is playing underneath him, and he's the piano guy, and he was not touching a key. I was like, wait a minute.
I mean, when videos first came out, I did too, because it was hair metal was huge, rock was huge, and in most of those, I understood their cutaways when they're hanging out with the very voluptuous women.
Oh, yeah.
But it always showed them on stage or in a practice
Playing
room. And you're like, man, that is cool. But that also explains why they look so cool when they're playing, because you don't have to follow the
Even
laws
when they
of
would
physics.
do live music shows, like American Bandstand back in the day, or whatever, it was Soul Train.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were lip syncing.
You had no idea.
I just thought they were singing the song that's playing on the radio.
Just crushing it out there.
I didn't know Soul Train wasn't directed at me. I just like the show.
I'm afraid I still don't know what RSVP means. Répondez s'il vous plaît.
Please respond.
Yeah, respond, please. Respond if it pleases you.
Really? If it pleases you?
That's what s'il vous plaît means.
It shouldn't be.
Then why would you have RSVP? Because you didn't RSVP. Well, if it
doesn't please me.
then please me to do that.
Yeah.
It does still mean.
Yes, we're splitting hairs, but still.
This one says, I thought Jimmy Buffett and Warren Buffett were the same person, and he just got really rich off the Margarita song.
Well,
He did.
He got.
Yeah, and beer.
Yeah.
And resorts.
And cheeseburger in paradise.
Paradise, yeah.
And look,
I'm just picturing Warren Buffett trying to rock
but
out.
who had more fun in life?
Yeah, no
Jimmy.
The guy who's singing on a sailboat, or the guy living in Nebraska, or wherever he is,
driving the same car.
Doesn't he still live in like the same SL?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also why he's rich.
I think it's yeah. And I don't know that we glorified rich people like as much as we did till like 10 or 15 years ago.
This one says, I thought the Mount Rushmore faces occurred naturally by coincidence. I can't believe I just admitted that.
By coincidence.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's
I don't know what it is about that mountain, man.
You know, there are certain things that you look at. You know, you look at clouds. That looks like somebody. Or that
And who's
cliff
on
face.
Mount Rushmore? It's George Washington.
Right.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Abraham Lincoln.
No, the guy from Alaska Airlines.
guy.
How many people you think said that? Like, oh my God. The guy from Alaska Airlines. Carved in stone.
He flew here. When you're told not to operate heavy machinery with certain medications, they mean cars. I always assumed bulldozers. I'm not going to lie, when I read that, forklifts come to my brain.
Me too. I know what it means, but when you say heavy machine, no one describes your car as heavy machinery.
Correct.
You say your car. When people say heavy machinery, they're talking about construction equipment.
Did you just catch up, Ted?
No, I'm just imagining like walking up to a job site and I run a backhoe and be like, can't do it today, fellas.
I'm on the night
I'm on an antibiotic. I'm on the NyQuil. I can't run it today. I took a shot of Quill. I'm out, boys.
I thought Elton John was blind because of those wild sunglasses.
Well, there was a lot of blind piano players.
Yes.
There was.
Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles.
Ronnie Millsap played piano.
Yeah.
So that was just the era of blind piano players.
And he had
But Ray Charles could see. 1976, Philadelphia.
Stevie Wonder.
People are confessing the things that they learned embarrassingly late in life. I thought McGraw-Hill textbooks were made by Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
Oh, wow. I never even thought about that.
I wouldn't have even put that together. I mean, I know the names, but...
To be fair, you'd have to be younger to believe that, because we had McGraw-Hill before we ever heard of them.
Sure.
So there's no reason I would think that, but I could see from like 18 years old, like, damn, man, that's cool, this couple. They care about our education.
Educating the public. The little piggy who went to market, he wasn't going to the grocery store.
Again,
I did not consider that one either. I caught up to that
one. Think about most of those nursery rhymes. You know, Ring Around the Rosie, London Bridge Fall Down, Humpty Dumpty. Like, it's just this visual you have in your head.
Right.
No one's going to tell children how horrible the nursery rhymes are telling it.
You've also got the story of the three little pigs, which already kind of anthropomorphizes pigs a little bit.
Sure.
And then when you do that nursery, and this little pig went to market is the first one. This one stayed home. Like, you just assume that he's just kicking it up on the couch.
That's what I thought.
This one had roast beef. How often are you feeding roast beef to your doggone pig?
Yeah. And look, man, I'm right there with you. I went to market. Isn't that cool?
That's right.
No, it's not.
Getting little tomatoes, little heirloom tomatoes. What the hell does the piggy get at market? Roast beef, but they have a fat ass in there. And then I'll leave you with this last and final confession that somebody learned embarrassingly late in life. They said, I thought the person who read the disclaimer during commercials just talked super fast, then realized that they sped up the audio.
They speed it up because legally they have to put it in.
Right.
Sometimes you have to slow it down. Sometimes you have to speed it up.
No kidding.
Yes, you do, don't you?
Sometimes you need to.
What's that one?
Slow it down.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's your boy.
Well, that's what happens when some people give you a 45-second copy for a 60-second commercial.
Gotta slow it down.
Need you to really lay back on this one, Ted. What's up? It's your boy.
Took a couple drags. With
And that is no fault to Ted whatsoever. He did what I needed him to do, damn it. He got me home.
I did hear that commercial. What's up, Ted? I'm like, bro. He's like, I know. I said, you just sound like you just woke up.
Well, the problem is when
having a great job.
What kind of drugs is he on these days? Jesus.
Well, the problem is that for some of you guys, like, I can get you close. You know, if it's a 30, you know, maybe we're at 28 seconds. Well, I can hit something that'll slow that down. But the problem is then you guys sound drunker than normal.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Miss Thrill?
What do you mean? What is normal to be drunk?
Miles, I can't speed you up because you already talk too fast in these commercials.
Yep.
Restrictions apply. A woman in Wisconsin stabbed her boyfriend to death, and the reason why is crazy, Miles.
What was the reason?
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink test can. Steve at Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast Buffalo Sabres fans, all right? So the Sabres, they're playing the Boston Bruins in Game 5 of the first round of the NHL playoffs, and most U.S. teams do not play Canada's national anthem unless a Canadian team is involved. But the Sabres do it at every home game, which is a nod to the fact their arena is about 5 miles away from the Canadian border, and they have a massive, massive fan base right across the border in Canada. So they play the Canadian national anthem. And as they always do, this time they brought out singer one Cammy Clune. She took to the ice to sing "Oh Canada," but her microphone crapped out. So I think this is a pretty cool move. You might think everyone in the world sucks, and you have every reason to believe that, but it's not always true. So take a listen to what happened. Again, this is in Buffalo.
Oh, Canada, our home and native. Hatred, love.
I mean, they're standing up. Hats off. Her mic's just not working.
Strong and from far and wide, okay, and on guard.
Just stop, lady.
Right, just stop.
They got you.
Yeah, good for them.
That's how you be a decent freaking neighbor, right? I was like, that is the coolest thing. Because she's kind of freaking out. You know, she's trying to sing, and the crowd's just like, we got you, man.
Dude, when I went to the Seahawks game in London, the guy behind me was English, and he sang ours too. And I said, why do you know our national anthem? And he's like, unlike you, mate, like most countries sing it.
Right.
And he was like, so we know yours.
Yeah, we always hire singers. Every other country they sing it. But I thought that is a cool move, man. Good on you in Buffalo. By the way, just a quick side note. After that, they sang the U.S. national anthem. The mic worked perfectly.
Oh, really?
So I'm not saying it's sabotage.
I think they gave her another
I'm just saying, oh, yeah, she went out there and belted out the Star Spangled Banner, brother. But, yeah.
Hopefully they didn't sing that one.
But I thought that was a cool move, man. That is a very cool move.
Don't need it.
So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
All right, just going to contest on the line now for Profile This, 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
With an Amex card, my benefits suit me, so I earn on both big and little things in life. And so can you. Are you a foodie who dines in or one who takes out? Maybe a traveler searching for new destinations and travel perks. Saving rewards for something big? Or maybe for someone small. For any and every kind of member, there's an Amex card waiting for you. Uncover exclusive offerings and learn more about card options at americanexpress.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this. Christian Healthcare Ministries is a health insurance alternative at half the cost. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/solution. That's chministries.org/solution.
The podcast Campus Files is back with more stories of scandal, crime, and intrigue on college campuses. Campus Files, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, please everyone on Profile This is played.
Oh, I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions the people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Jordan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. All right, Jordan, you understand how this here game is played?
Many times, my friend, many times.
All right, here we go. Today, you have your choice of one of three categories. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have seriously, where you guess the petty conflict that led to violence. And finally today, license to spill, where you guess the substance responsible for creating the mess.
I'm going to do license to spill. I haven't done that one in a while.
We go back north of the border to Quebec, where an overloaded semi-truck was pulled over while it was leaking product. Now, the incident occurred on April 27th at the Dawville checkpoint. The Crown Corporation explained at the checkpoint the maximum weight allowed is 45,000 kilograms. The truck weighed 70,850 kilograms, which is over 25,000 kilograms over. Now, as a result, the carrier received a $4,200 fine, and the operator was penalized around $1,200. They say the tanker was excessively full, causing spills from the top of the tanker throughout the journey. With each movement of the truck, cargo leaked, posing a safety and environmental hazard. Now, the corporation added that cracks were found near the rear of the tanker, which was then taken off the road. Now, authorities noted that during the spring thaw, the roads are 30 to 70% more fragile, and a single overloaded vehicle can cause significant damage. It's all understood. The question is, what was leaking out of the overloaded truck? Was it diesel? Was it manure? Was it animal parts? Or was it milk? Diesel, manure, animal parts, or milk? What was this overloaded truck spilling out of its quote-unquote backside?
Say what state?
Quebec,
Canada. Province, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Providence.
Okay.
Province. I'm just going to stop talking.
Some letters start with S.
If it was overloaded and refined, I want to say manure.
Manure. All right, Jordan, I'm going to go milk.
For a change, I'm going to take the obvious one and just say it was diesel.
Diesel. Okay. What was spilling out of this truck? Was it diesel, manure, animal parts, or milk? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to The Men's Room.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is a license to spill. On profile this, we got a tanker truck in Quebec that was pulled over while leaking its cargo, causing an environmental hazard. Question is, what was spilling out of the back of this truck? Was it diesel, manure, animal parts, or milk?
And Jordan, that is a question that we posed to you. So let's begin with you. You went manure. And I'm sorry, it was not manure. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm glad it was not poop. The Ted Smith, you went with diesel. All right. Maybe for a change, it's reasonable. Miles Montgomery, you went milk. And you are correct.
Why is that an environmental hazard?
That's what I always wonder about. Like, dude,
right, that's what threw me off.
I drink it.
It's good for human consumption, but it's an environmental hazard.
It's calcium.
Yeah, I don't get how it works. Maybe it's
That's
raw
all
milk.
limestone is, and granite is calcium.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they overloaded it. Yes, it was spilling out of the back. But in the end, if it's me, I'm like, look, the good news is that it was milk. But they were pissed.
Now for all TV news all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. Yeah, Seth Meyers, Colbert,
Steven,
the Jimmys,
Kimmel, Fallon,
writers,
those guys,
or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right at the time. These guys have teams of talented writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom? Or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Disneyland will now use facial recognition technology to reduce fraud. Meanwhile, Busch Gardens is still letting guests pay for tickets by using loose cigarettes.
Colbert. Fallon?
Fallon.
Disneyland will now use facial recognition technology to reduce fraud. Meanwhile, Busch Gardens is still letting guests pay for tickets using loose cigarettes.
Michael made $97 million over the weekend. It's the largest opening ever for a biopic, even though it leaves a lot of stuff out. Starts with him in the Jackson 5, goes all the way to him becoming a superstar, but it ends before he becomes an old white lady who lives in an abandoned amusement park with a monkey in a leather jacket.
Colbert Smith.
Kibble.
Michael made $97 million over the weekend. It's the biggest opening ever for a biopic, even though it leaves out a lot of stuff. It starts with him in the Jackson 5. It goes all the way to him becoming a superstar, but it ends before he becomes an old white lady who lives in an abandoned amusement park with a monkey in a leather jacket.
I just heard the other day Bubbles got mean towards the end.
Really?
Yeah, I forget who it was, but some famous.
He's down in Florida, right?
What's that?
He's in Florida.
They were just saying, like, by the time, like, as it got older, it's a chimp.
Yeah.
You couldn't, he was in a cage, and they were like, oh, don't mess with Bubbles. Bubbles. Like, I would have been like, hey, Mike, I get it, but it is a chimp.
Chimpanzee, brother. Get the name of Bubbles doesn't mean it won't rip your face off.
The pizza chain Little Caesars has partnered with the company Flytrex to offer drone delivery. And in a related story, Iran just surrendered.
The Ted Smith.
Yep. Seth Meyers.
The pizza chain Little Caesars has partnered with the company Flytrex to offer drone delivery. And in a related story, Iran just surrendered.
Actress and activist Shannon Elizabeth has made more than $1 million in only 1 week on OnlyFans. You'll remember Shannon Elizabeth from such films as American Pie and American Pie 2.
The Ted Smith.
Yeah.
That's not a bad call, though, dude. I mean,
I had to Google it. It was like, has she done other films?
Yeah. She's one of those people, like, everyone was just waiting for you to get naked. And good for you. You made $1 million, so.
Oh, yeah.
In 1 week.
Well, and I think,
right.
I don't know. I want to say she stepped away to, like, do family and stuff.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Then I stepped away from family to do OnlyFans.
Yeah. Well, they always contend that a lot of them it's not nudity. It's just
Sure.
Sexy shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still made $1 million in 1 week.
Yeah. I haven't made
I mean, look, I would do it.
Yeah, well, I'm not making much over at Only Ted's.
Only Ted's.
Right.
That's because only Ted's can join.
I'm shaving my back today.
Right. Well, Ted the Bear makes a lot. I don't. Speaking of making money, it's been 2 decades since Friends ended. They still make a lot of money every year in residuals. All right.
Well, yeah, it's like the cornerstone of Nick at Night right now.
How much do you think they make each year? Each of the primary actors, obviously Matthew Perry not included as he's passed away.
Are they all making the same amount?
Correct. Yes, that was one of their big things.
Say
they
one
all
and a half.
signed $1.5
per
million?
episode.
I'll say $10 million a year.
This is how much they're making a year.
A year.
I'm gonna say
$1.5. Not it.
Ooh,
Am I way too low?
Yes.
I'm gonna say $50 million a year.
All right, that's a little high. They each make about $20 million a year in residuals.
Oh my God!
The cast only earned $22,500 per episode in season 1, but by season 9 and 10, they were each making $1 million per episode.
Damn.
So they're making more on 1 year of reruns than they did when they were actually shooting the show.
But smart actors on a sitcom will make it a point in the contract. Give us those residuals from syndication, right?
No, and they did a good job, right?
They were very good.
We're all going to make the same amount, and then we'll get the residuals. But honestly, I don't know because it depends on how long a season was. They were making $1 million per episode,
right.
So there might have been seasons
anywhere from 13 to 26. I think that's the
right.
average.
So they
now,
could have made more, but that's just wild. I mean, hey, look, frankly, that makes me fathom why Schwimmer just said after a while, like, I want to just write or just produce and be behind the camera.
I don't need to be,
right? Like, I think, and look.
Why kill myself trying to get these scripts and go up against all these other people? Like, I'll start my own production company and do what I want because my income is solid.
Right, and I think if you're a stage actor, like
it's a little different, sure.
Right. Some of those people, I believe them when they say like it's not the fame isn't as important. When you're a Hollywood actor, like fame is obviously important.
Which has got to be crazy when you think about The Simpsons too.
Yeah, but with $20 million a year, God, maybe there's a certain point where you just go, "Do I want to get panned making another show?" Look at Jason Alexander, right?
All the
from
criticism
Seinfeld.
and all that crap.
Like he still does well now, but he had a few different opportunities, and like people just crushed him.
Well, the comeback is great. It's awkward.
Lisa Kudrow is the one that revealed this.
Yeah, she's still working.
Is that new season on now?
Yeah.
All right,
I'm watching it. It's cringeworthy. It's funny, but it's very cringy.
Yeah. And I think I said this a couple weeks ago, too. Like, I watched a recent episode of Curb because I had kind of got out of watching that.
Yeah.
Honestly, you don't really need to know who Larry David is or any of the main storylines. I hadn't watched that. I probably hadn't watched it in 5 seasons. And I was still like, Jesus, this is funny.
Well, every single episode it's encapsulated. There are some rolling story plots, but not many.
Right.
So it encapsulates itself in an episode. You don't have to watch them in order almost.
Right. I feel the same way about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? There's a lot of reference points, and they'll go back to them and stuff. But I don't like. I tell people all the time, like, if you've never seen it, just watch an episode. Like, you'll probably really like it. Stewie from Family Guy, he's getting a spinoff. It's already got a 2-year older. Seth MacFarlane, who co-created it, will return as the voice of Stewie, obviously. The show will follow Stewie as he enrolls in a new preschool where him and his miserable classmates use devices to travel through space and time, turning, quote, every boarding day into an insane and surreal adventure.
All right. You're not feeling that?
I just have to wait and see it.
It's something that we talked about earlier on today. Like, Stewie has enough to hold himself in his own storyline with Brian, basically, primarily.
Yeah.
And that usually lasts maybe 8 to 15 minutes worth of content on the show. I don't think he can hold his own show.
Did any of you guys like the Cleveland show?
Not terribly.
I didn't watch it.
See, like, I thought that was a good spinoff. And, like, I actually really liked that show. So, I'm with you. But he was definitely a side character as well. Stewie, to me, like, I think he's popular enough that they can have a spinoff. It's already got a 2-year deal. I just never really care for the just primarily Stewie and Brian episodes.
Right. Because he doesn't have a whole lot of places to go. His depth comes from his kind of Looney Tunes style walkabout life, which is he can literally do whatever it is that he wants, but it also kind of makes him lack any kind of depth because he has nothing grounding him. Cleveland at least had a shot because, well, there's more to learn about this guy and his backstory where, he goes back to stool bend and he gets a new wife and family and whatnot. Like, okay, we can discuss that. Stewie's permanently won, and he ventures to take over the world, to kill his mother, and also just get into shenanigans. So I'll give it a shot, but I don't have a whole lot of hope for it.
Yeah. It's expected to premiere on Fox during the 2027-28 season and will stream the next day on Hulu. Okay. I guess he's got to be a little bit older if he's enrolling in a new preschool.
Right.
So what was preschool, like 4, 5?
He was at like daycares during the show.
He's already 45 at age 3.
Yeah, right, no kidding.
Yeah. That is a great thing about cartoons as well, is that you can actually suspend reality.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't think about it being that odd, but if you started using little people as children, like, you'd be like, that guy has a beard.
What if every episode was just a different day? Then it all fits into one year.
There you go. Like the 24. Yeah. Kiefer Sutherland, right? 24 episodes, but it's one day.
Yeah, and he could have a different 24-hour episode. The only one that threw me off was Prison Break. Because they got out.
Yeah.
It's like season 2. It's like, wow, I thought the whole show was about getting out.
What are we doing?
Yeah, now it's just like 2 dudes on the run.
Here they are.
Maybe they changed the name, right? On the Run.
I think you kind of have to change the name.
Right. Same actors, same situation, but no longer Prison Break.
Use the same title, but subtitle it. Prison Break, On the Run. Like, okay.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
Obviously not a comedy. It's a very serious show, but what's it? The Pit. Right, that show about the
doctors in Pittsburgh.
Right, in the emergency room. So that's one where I think each episode is 1 hour of that emergency room and what's going on there. Have you watched that, Miles?
I have not.
You know a lot about Pittsburgh.
Yeah. What are they? Are they Presbyterian?
I was.
Then it's a lie.
I don't know. I was going to say,
what
you
hospital
might
are
recognize the
It's
hospital.
like Grey's Anatomy. You can watch that and you go, there's no hospital like that here. Why is it always raining all the time?
What happened to this guy? He choked on a Pamani Brothers.
I've got a kibolsa in my throat.
CBS has announced some of their upcoming schedule for 26-27. Big news is there's a new NCIS.
Can they do it in a small town? Seriously. I'm dead
I am
serious.
so happy you asked that.
NCIS boring order.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's the opposite of that. It's NCIS New York.
Oh, wow. That's a concept.
And guess who's coming back to the franchise?
Jesus.
I'll give
Mark
you
Harmon.
no. Thrill will get it.
LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Does he lick his lip a lot?
He
Have you
actually
never noticed
does.
that?
No.
Oh,
Dude.
yeah. Like every music video. And look, I think for a man, he's got a nice mouth, lips. I don't know.
Hey,
So I think
there's your promo
I
number 2.
think it's part of his thing to get
LL
chicks.
has nice
He'd always be
lips.
like,
He always, if he'll say a sentence, and then in the pause, he looks and says, Miles, good to see you. What you doing later, bro? I mean, like he can't help it. But then I can't stop staring at his mouth when he does. I'm like, why do you keep licking your lips, brother?
right. So to me, in his videos, he was doing it. I assumed because ladies love his lips too, not just Cool James, but I don't know. But yeah, he's coming back. He's coming back to the franchise. So yeah, new NCIS and LL's back.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A woman in Wisconsin stabs her boyfriend to death because he wouldn't take her out to dinner. Meanwhile, when your plane won't take off because a woman is on her phone and won't get off, you are dealing with a winner. 3 people are shot at a Taco Bell after a customer fills water cup with Coke. A zoo has to close in Japan, and the reason is no joke. And all the animals escaped from a farm in Indiana. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
Our top story, we go to Wisconsin, where the women know what they want. The story goes that she informed her boyfriend that she would like to go out to dinner on a recent Friday night. Simple request. Want to go out for dinner.
All right.
Possibly feeling in a more romantic spirit or due to cost or whatever reason, he showed up at her home with chicken drumsticks that he brought himself with the idea that he would season them and cook them right there at her home in her air fryer. Unfortunately, she didn't like this particular idea, and the two launched into an argument, with the boyfriend allegedly, quote, pushing her buttons. That's about the time that the woman armed herself with a knife and proceeded to stab her boyfriend in the chest and through the heart, killing him there at the scene.
Jesus, man.
She stabbed this man to death because he brought over chicken.
How long had they been dating?
Oh, it doesn't say that.
No, man. And look, when you talk to the cops, it's, well, they pushed my buttons. Ma'am, did he push you? No. He pushed my buttons.
Right. Authorities arrived and took the woman into custody, where she was reportedly chatty and calm about the whole situation. She's being charged with first-degree homicide. The things that she was saying was like, yeah, I stabbed him. She was like, if his mom didn't like me then, she definitely going to like me now. Like,
You're right.
Right.
You're right. You're tracking. Yes, mom probably would not like you.
Take my ID just in case something happens to me, something like that. Like, she was... Fun times. Just go out to dinner.
God, man.
That's also what she was saying. She's like, I should have just gone out to the bar. This is ridiculous. Like,
You're the one who stabbed him.
Stabbed the guy to death. You stabbed him in the chest with a knife. Side note, I don't know how hard that is, but that's bone you're going through.
Yeah.
Damn.
Over air fryer chicken wings.
No kidding.
That's why he died.
Which sound fantastic.
Right. Does not sound bad.
Maybe we got to save some money. What?
Nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
In other news, to Florida, where rules are rules. The story takes place at a local Taco Bell, in which 2 customers entered the restaurant, humbly asking the employee behind the counter for a cup for water. But as plenty of us have seen or even considered before, the one that received the cup went over to the drink fountain and proceeded to fill the water cup with soda pop. It happens. This initiated a verbal altercation between the employee and the 2 customers. During the argument, a 3rd customer walked in, and the employee began challenging the 3 to, quote, do something before being removed by another employee. At this time, a cell phone was brought into the mix to film the altercation, and the video clearly picks up the sound of a firearms slide being racked. The firearm belonged to the first employee, who proceeded to pistol whip one of the customers before firing shots at the others. Authorities were called, and the employee was arrested.
Must have been the new Taco Bell slogan. Taco Bell. F around and find out.
F-A-F-O.
Eat back your gun.
Little chihuahua, all strapped.
Water means water, man.
I forgot to tell you.
Right, that's the issue. Taco Bell person took it too far, but I do agree. Like, you have a right to be mad. Like, hey, you ask for a water cup, you
Correct.
get water.
They ain't gonna ask for a water cup at Taco Bell no more.
No,
don't.
We're for real around here, damn it.
Damn.
Back a gun.
I wonder if Taco Bell statements like, he told him.
Right.
That store, you know what they only sell? Hard shells.
Damn right.
Damn.
That's gangsters. Let's go to Miami, where flight passengers can ruin everybody's good time. A Delta plane headed for Atlanta was the scene of one such passenger as a woman aboard the flight clearly had a very important phone call. She remained on her phone throughout the boarding process as the plane backed away from the gate, but in spite of repeated instruction from the flight crew, she never got off her call. The crew conducted their safety briefing and focused all efforts afterwards on getting the woman to hang up her phone. She just wouldn't wrap it up.
She might have already been selected for Who Sucks Less next week.
Unfortunately, she refused and actually became belligerent, prompting the pilot to return to the gate. When told to leave the plane, she continued her refusal, prompting a deplaning of the entire craft. Everybody off the bus. She initially attempted to exit with the rest of the passengers, but was intercepted by authorities and arrested. The plane was delayed for about an hour, and all aboard were issued an apology.
I really feel like that on airlines, right? You get on and they'll ask, hey, you're sitting in the emergency seat, you know, where you help people get on a plane, blah, 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 say yes. If you don't have an air marshal, I feel like they should, you know, who here volunteers to throw hands for something stupid? Because I would take it every time. Like, look, man, on your 1 to 10 scale of what the problem is, she's about a 3. Man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like, I'll deal with it. If you give me the authority, I will make quick work of it. Do not delay my flight because you're an ignorant, self-entitled bitch.
To Atlanta.
And I have no problem dealing with that.
That's what, an hour flight? Hang up the damn phone.
It's
I'll
not
be
that
right
important.
back.
Yeah.
I mean, really, there should be like, you know, do you agree to beat the living ass out of someone who's just being difficult for the sake of being difficult?
Right.
I do. I absolutely do.
I can't imagine just doing that and then making a whole plane.
The entire
I'm
freaking
just like,
plane.
come on.
I can't imagine the phone call that you're on where you feel justified to do that. There's a handful of situations where, well, what if this happened? Well, if that happens,
Well,
okay, I can understand where you're at. Right.
What
I
if it's
don't know the
everything?
phone call where you're on a plane. You know the rules. Hang up your damn phone. Airplane mode. It has been this way for decades.
Yeah. Since they invented the cell phone.
Right.
There you go.
Criminy.
That's unbelievable to me.
Yes, it is. But just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth,
Thankfully, there's good news.
we go to Indiana, where something small turns into something big. Authorities got a call about an animal that was found in the roadway, and a deputy quickly made his way to the scene to sort it out. But upon arrival, they were forced to call for backup because it was more than a single animal that was found in the road, as the contents of basically an entire farm were scattered about the area. Goats, chickens, turkeys, ducks, and geese were all among the animals found around the roadway. They were all safely secured by authorities to be returned home. Body cam footage of the incident was shared to social media to the delight of all users. Hooray!
The whole farm. Like, yeah, it's more than one chicken.
Prison break! Men's Room Sports, you got more playoff basketball on Amazon and ESPN tonight, playoff hockey on TNT and True TV, and baseball over on MLB Network. The Mariners had their rubber match against the Twins earlier today after evening the score last night, and following a great rally in the ninth, the Mariners took the game 5-3 and the series 2-1. Well done, boys.
Sweet.
They will make their way back home tomorrow, so they're off tomorrow to host the Royals over the weekend. As far as your weather, should be clear skies with a low of 47 tonight. Tomorrow they are predicting a beautiful, partly cloudy day with a high of 72. Nice. Sip your headlines with that, Mike Hawkins.
Speaking of tomorrow, see you next time. The head chef is back with Ted's Meat and Potatoes. The game known as Big Dummy is also coming up tomorrow. Lovely Jolene's coming up in just seconds.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until tomorrow, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.